fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
Okay.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
All right.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
Okay.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Where to am I from? Raise your fist in the air.
I am inside each and every single one of you. Just look in, and I will be there, waving out at you, naked, wearing only a cock ring.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
And there I am, just like that. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry last night's show did not work. Got to put the mic in front of my face. Sorry about that. Last night's show had to be canceled because as I was sitting here getting ready for the show, I got an urgent call. I had to run out. And so there was no show last night. So, got to have a little fun tonight. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a great evening. I bet you did get bent, Chip and Flint. Let's see who is out there in the chat. K2 Keep On Trucking was first. Anson Knowles was second. He and I had a little back and forth. It was pretty fucking funny. And Damien Parkour Guy is in the house. Don't know if he's got his channel monetized yet, but you guys should go watch his show. It's pretty good. Sirius Shelby has been in the house with showing a little hate and discontent and timing people out left and right. Welcome 13 to the show. 13 is in the house along with Chip and Flint. And seriously, well, we already talked about seriously. Daniel Zahn is in the house. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. TR Finley, Imperious, Samson. Good to see you, Samson. How are you? Anson Knowles apparently saying, "Hey, doll." Put you out there. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Artie Chico is in the house. Raging Tomato, Sarah's in the house. Sarah, if you would like to come up on stage and talk some shit, that would be just fine by me. And we have Siege D in the house. I had to make him a mod to protect him from Shelby. Shelby is, guys, if you don't know, Shelby has finished boot camp and is in A school. He is going to be all he can be in the Navy. And there we go. How about that? Silvar Ogre is in the house. It was not an unreasonable rave. I just have new tunes. I got to keep it fresh. I got to get new tunes. And we got some, and some old ones, but mostly new ones. All right. Angel Berber's up in the house. Like that. Like that. Like that guy. That guy's a good guy. I like that guy. Who else we got out there? Zach Diecast Manser. Good to see you. Not familiar with you, but hopefully you are going to enjoy the show tonight. And Mister's in the house. You, as always, are welcome to make an appearance if you would like. We'll get you those links out a little later. The mods do have them in the mod chat, but we're going to wait just a few minutes. Josie is in the house. My old co-host in the house. Good to see you out there, too. Mr. Boulay is in the house. Imperious, no, I don't give a fuck tonight. We may play that later. Yeah, who else we got out there? That lens is so fucking nice. It was $30, I think. I'll send you the link. We'll talk about that in a minute. Mr. Boulay in the house. Raging Tomato, I've got, all right, you're getting ready to start your ladies' night. I got a little something for you, Raging Tomato.
True, you are a
You may be the Antichrist. True.
Tombstone was a classic. He may be the Antichrist. How about that? That is awesome. All right. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's see what we got. Oops, I closed chat. I am the Huckleberry. There we go. All right, Raging Tomato. That is fine with me. If you have to go, you have to go. Yeah, you might be the Antichrist. All right, $2 comes in from Imperious right out of the gate. I better be allowed to come talk shit. I have a lot. We'll get to you, buddy. We'll get to you. We might have to have a gate charge for you, Imperious. Somebody may have to pay for you to come up here. I don't know. We'll see. Alex Moore, good to see you. The Vengeful Truther, we're talking shit about everybody. I'll start off here in a minute. Anson Knowles, it's not that the hats make me look interesting. I'm just that fucking interesting. Yeah. All right. It means I'm advertising for a yard sale. Could be. You never know. I love that line. You gonna do something or you gonna stand there and bleed? Like it. It's like it. It's good times tonight, guys, already out of the gate. I believe Glenn Lawrence will be making an appearance. I'm not necessarily fired up. I'm having a good time, guys. It's a great night. By the way, guys, we got to get the grift coming. I didn't grift it all last night. The grift is low. The grift is low. Seriously, Shelby uses his member chat to say, celebrates 5 months of membership. That's awesome. Let me know when to send the link to Impy. Goal is $150. $150 bounty? Oh, man, that's awesome. That was Billy Bob Thornton. That was great. That's very funny. $20. The shit talking has begun. Yes. Well, we got to start the shit talking extravaganza. If you were fortunate enough to see was kind of a debate that I did over on the Reverie, the first part of the week, Monday night, you will have seen absolute hilarity and drama unfolding. It was amazing. It really was. So we'll get back to that. I got to answer EAE. The camera looks very expensive. It really isn't. The camera is a Lumix G100D, I think. I'll have to look at the box, but it's a G100. The lens, I kid you not, I think the lens was like $80. It's a Mikey. The thing is that it's a manual focus, so I can get really fine with the focus and the f-stop, and it's working out pretty good. I do have him. Arthur Daya. Seriously, Shelby has set the bounty at $150 for Imperious to come up. So, yeah, it is a nice bokeh effect. Thank you very much. It is actually, and it's really a great lens. The manual focus, I tried the autofocus, and I had actually a really pretty expensive lens on it with the autofocus, and it just jacked around. But the this lens with even with and I have very low lighting in here. I have the lighting up. I have everything good. Siege D, I am not a boomer. Just to keep that in mind. Let's see. Man, Anson Knowles is coming in hot. Siege D, so the problem with Tim Gordon is he's a moron. I honestly, and maybe I just came in at the wrong time, and maybe he had smart things earlier to say, but he's a moron. Calling himself a patriarchal when when what he really is he's like red pill light. He's like red pill with a little bit of religion. It's weird. It's weird. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm proud of it. And we went to church and we whooped ass, unlike his generation, which had safe spaces. So you guys keep that going on. Yeah, right. Boomers are 75, 80 years old, bro. Don't be mad at me for what your daddy did to your daddy or your granddad did to your dad. I was born in 71. So, all right. Anyway, so over on the Reverie the other night, we'll talk some shit here. Hopefully, they're watching. The subject matter was aid, U.S. aid, the organization, and the fact that Elon basically raided it with Trump's approval. And we all went around and we were basically kind of on the same page. We don't really like Elon necessarily, but USAID's evil. And if you argue against, if you argue for evil, then that makes you evil, in this specific circumstance. So what really happened was it devolved into a bunch of people just beating up on Elon for no damn good reason. And they couldn't even, I can express why I don't particularly care for Elon. Elon, to me, has always been he's a little too cavalier in the way he speaks about things, much like a politician, and as an engineer, I get it. They're kind of weird, people to start with. What's up, Flow State? I see you sneaking in. I'll watch that Cash App, brother. Yeah. So, anyway, so at the end of the day, they really had, it just evolved. And the best part was the host, who was supposed to be the moderator, brought himself, pushed himself into the debate and lost his shit like 3 times over Elon. And we would just pull him back from the edge, and then we would just poke him and he'd go right over the edge again. It was fucking hilarious. It was so good. It was so good. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do the Reverie this week because I will be on Sarah's show getting that. We're going to be Flow State and myself. We will be out there, putting ourselves out there, putting in the hard work of beating up. There's Flow State. That's the guy right there. That's him, officer. Get him. So Flow State's going to be there with me. We are going to be beating up on poor, helpless, defensive ladies. We have a TTS coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, TTS.
Mr. Boulay and the Department of Numismatics donated $10, super chat. Indeed. Engineers are weird people. I take that as a compliment. Mr. Boulay has spoken.
Right. Yeah. Engineers are weird people. Yeah. I mean, but now we've got people who are complaining about Doge in general. That's right, Siege D. We're gonna beat up on poor young women who have picked the wrong side of this debate. They didn't know any better. They could have done a better job, but they didn't. They picked the wrong side. It's unfortunate, but it's true. They did that. Yeah. So that Arthur Dye, the condom things turn out to be fake, but the fake news is being put out to distract from the much more disturbing actual news. Like, why is it that most of the money sent to Ukraine never made it to the Ukraine, and also most of the war material that was supposed to go to Ukraine. Why did it never get there? It's crazy, man. It's like nuts. U.S. aid is, no, it's not a propaganda wing. It is a front for the CIA. Legit. Like, I'm not even making that up. I'm not saying that just to get a soundbite. That's literally what they are. They are literally a front. They are a money laundering operation for the CIA. That's what they do. They don't have any other purpose in life. They were created specifically to launder money for the CIA. And we have another TTS coming. Oh, wait. It may not, because it's Canadian 10 and not a US 10. So it may not trigger the TTS. If not, I will read it. No TTS. All right. USAID spent $100 million to push atheism in Nepal, of all places. $270 million for gift bags to illegals. Gift bags. That's right, TVT. That's really stupid. Yeah. YouTube won't let you super chat. Well, go to Streamlabs, my friend. The link is in the description. And just click the Streamlabs link, and you will be able to TTS just like everybody else. Arthur Dias says, I wanted a gift bag. All I got from Anson was a tea bag. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's all you can get from Anson. He doesn't put out on the first date, Arthur Dias. He says, Arthur Dias, you wish. He doesn't do that on the first date. You got to wait for the third date. It's the 3-date rule. Got to the third date before they see your penis, gentlemen. It's the third date before they get to see your penis. Okay, just keep that in mind. I'm trying to do the good work up here. The TTS doesn't like Canadians. No, your money's. It's just not. It's not $10 American. Okay, yeah. Reset your phone first. I actually prefer that you use Streamlabs because YouTube's takes that 30%, bro. 30%. It's a nut punch every single time. Every single time. Yeah. You can use Cash App as well if for some reason. Yeah. So that's we got some emails coming in here. So yeah, yesterday, talk about yesterday for a minute. So yesterday I was gonna have a good day. Everything was looking really great, looking fine like wine. I was early for my show. I was over playing on Verbal Combat, and just kind of starting shit over there. We'll talk shit about that in a minute too. But I was over there starting some shit, just being me, throwing the weight around. Somebody said I look like a mob boss. I don't see it, but I realize I have Canadian fans. I don't know how to change the setting. Did I say that right? All right. So, all right. What in the world happened there? All right. We've got money from Silvar Ogre. Thank you, sir. Good. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, okay. All right. I missed an Anson Knowles. I missed the stream yesterday because I was washing my reusable tampon. No, I wasn't. Don't have one of those. I didn't know those existed. Curious why you do. It should convert it. Yeah, it should convert it. It does convert it, but it converts it, and then it's not $10 anymore. So, yeah, Arthur Dye, you can come up. Yeah, Likes are free. We need way more likes. For some reason, the likes are stuck. I don't know. I think it's bugged. It's bugged, boys. It's bugged. So, you know what? Imperious, you can come up later, man. As soon as somebody sends $150. I'm kidding. That was hilarious, though. I got to be honest. When Shelby said that, that was pretty fucking funny. Keep on Trucking sent $5 American. Why is this not? Why did that stick? There we go. There it is. Too many monitors. $5 from K2. Keep on Trucking. You hear GM and Jack Cooper told each other to piss off after GM tried to buy 51% of their company. There are not enough car haulers to corner the market. I did not hear that, but that's not surprising. So, $20 for Imperious. Yeah, somebody send in $20 and we'll let Imperious up. So that works out pretty good. All right, what else is going on here in my great wide world of sports? The eventual truther is treating you like a slave. Well, you did say that you're part black. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back to the show. So, some other shit to talk this week. $20 for poor Gimpy to get on. It's going to teach.
Seriously, Shelby donated $20 super chat for poor Impy to get on.
How much does it cost to keep Imperious off? I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. You're okay, Silvar Ogre. Just DM me over on the. Just DM me over on the Discords. I've got. Do I have Discord up? I now have Discord up. So just DM me over there. Old Jakey Poo is live over on Jakey's channel. He can come over here later. I do not take these down, Christy. I don't take these down unless there's a reason to. Sometimes we'll say something, or something will happen that I'll have to edit it out, and then I'll make it private afterwards. But then once I edit it, it goes right back up as far as I know. 8.0 quake in the Caribbean. Yeah. All right. Good to see you, Christy Co. Haven't seen you here before. Hope you have fun. We're having a great time tonight. This is a shit-talking extravaganza. Mainly because it's it's funny. It's funny to talk shit. So there we go. $2 from Imperious himself comes in. We finally have racial equality for Impy. Yeah, Impy could send big money, but he doesn't. That's okay. Christy, yeah, it is cool. Thank you for coming by. But, it's better if it's live because you get to participate and we have people come up. You're welcome to come up, too, if you're a real person. You don't have to cam up, but you do have to prove that you're a real human and you're not going to do something weird like porn bomb us or something. 8.0 quake in the Caribbean. Yeah, who cares? That's fine. Yep. So Monday night with the Reverie was great. Lot of nonsense. I took Tuesday pretty much off. Not for any specific reason. I just did. $2 comes in. K2 keep on trucking. Disclaimer. And I heard that from an employee. It's okay, man. It's okay. We're not going to hold you to it, buddy. Not going to hold you to it. 200,000 protest in Munich, Germany against the anti-migrant narratives. You're going to have to clarify that one for me. Mr. Boulay, you kind of did miss some excitement. It wasn't a lot of excitement, but it was fun. It was great. I had a good time. Let's see. So then Wednesday night, what did I do Wednesday night? Wednesday night was cool, man. It was a good show. The show rocked. It was good, and had a lot of fun. We had some good guests, I think, on Tuesday night too. Wrongful Rage coming in. I still haven't gotten that $10 or the $9.99 thing to trigger. I know that's an Apple Pay thing. I don't know why it does that. Wrongful Rage, $9.99. Hope it's been a good night. Flight went safe. Family all safe. Kids got energy of a hummingbird. He got to see the Infantry Museum and do some scary simulator for parachuting. He loved it. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Actually, next week, we will be at West Point doing the tour for prospective students. What's up, Simpy? What do you got for me today?
No, this is Arthur Daya.
That's Arthur Daya.
Yes,
Arthur Daya is in the house. Imperious Dominatrix.
That actually came up automatically. I don't remember what prompted that nickname initially.
That is sick.
Now we need Imperious up here.
Yeah, we got periods and everything. So I said something last night to Lindsay, or Wednesday night to Lindsay about she misplaced a period like a typical woman, and she got all kinds of bent about that. Imperious is trying to scream copyright infringement. Whatever. Yeah, it puts the last name that you used, so that's you must have been beating up on Imperious in a private chat somewhere. That's okay. We don't judge.
I don't think I've ever actually beaten up on Imperious.
You seem to really like Imperious. You know he's in Florida.
He trolls
in Florida, and he's single.
If you pay attention, there's actually a purpose to the way he trolls, and then he'll often follow it up with something fairly based from a Catholic perspective.
Yeah, that's true, but he does that here. Most other places, he doesn't do that. Most other places, he will literally troll them for hours and call them all kinds of weird names, which I find personally funny, but I don't allow over here. So we can talk a little shit tonight, but we're not gonna go too bad. So now I have to get into Thursday night. Thursday night, we went. I went on Sarah's panel. I went on there early. I got there at open, and she actually had me come up, and we had a nice conversation. It was really good. And sorry, I got a super chat here. $5 American comes in from Anson Knowles. Arthur Daya needs to cam up and give us something good to look at. All right.
The problem is I'm ready for bed, Anson, so we don't display
that. Now that's just teasing the poor man.
I'm not an OS girl.
That's funny. All right, so I go on Sarah's the raging tomato, and we were talking about this is one of your favorite subjects, Arthur Daya.
Mm-hmm.
Are stepfathers cucks and are single moms run through? So in my way, I basically triggered everybody all at once. It was beautiful. It's great. It's great.
What did you say?
And so I went and triggered everybody. And then it worked out pretty good for me, So, but, and actually it was going really good until we started doing the open panel. And then we had the Furby come up. The Furby was begging to come up, by the way. literally sent in a super chat asking when I would be done talking so it could come up and talk. Beg for attention much? Oh well. Anyway, so the Furby came up and made the entire subject all about him.
Or her.
No, not her. Not her. Chemically castrated, yes. Still male-ish. And acts, you know, I mean, honestly, there's nothing feminine about that dude. So, you know. Anyway, so absolutely made it all about the Furby. And it was interesting because it just kind of got away. Yeah, it just kind of got away with it. The Furby was just doing Furby stuff. And I got bored. And I left. The end. I'm assuming the Furby kept bleeding into the streets for everyone. So Flow State, what's up, buddy? I didn't know you were still here. I thought you left. From Libs of TikTok. Hold on, I missed that. You guys, you know, kind of give me time to respond. You went awfully quiet, Arthur Dia.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to provoke me with something controversial.
Yeah, I actually thought the him/her thing was going to do it, but apparently not. Give me a minute. From Libs of TikTok on X platform. New Trump tax reforms. New tax on tips. Oh, no tax on tips. Overtime. Adjust SALT cap. Elimination of special breaks for billionaires. Sports team owners. New cuts for made in U.S. pro something. I don't think he finished that thought. Awesome.
I don't know, but in 2 weeks of time, I mean, I could not have been happier with the Trump administration. And the fact that we're now starting to talk tax reduction on businesses and extending the tax cuts that we have already got with the bigger standard deductions, I think is fantastic.
I got a couple. So that's great. So let me ask you a question, because you know you're a person that pays attention to the financial,
Yes.
to some degree. What do you? How pissed off are you knowing that in 20 days, with minimal effort, Trump has turned everything around, and for 4 fucking years, Biden sat on both hands and done not jack shit?
I mean, it's very maddening that we had a demented guy sitting in the White House as a figurehead, and everyone was
It's
gaslighting.
maddening.
Yeah, it's very
It's maddening. That's all? Just maddening? You're not angry? You don't want to, like,
I'm angry, I'm
smash
outraged.
liberals. Like you know, if this was a liberal, right? If this was a liberal I was talking to, they would be talking about smashing people in the face, throwing bricks through walls or windows or whatever. I don't know what they throw bricks through. I'm not up on my brick throwing. But you understand, like you're being awfully calm about this.
Well, I'm pleased that the Trump team has been exceptionally well organized this time. They planned all this out well in advance, and they came in and they've been running like a well organized machine, you know, with all these executive orders they had lined up to sign. They've got Doge and Elon in there rooting out corruption. They're starting to talk about tax policies, doing what he said on tariffs. I mean, we've had more action in 2 weeks than Anson's seen all year, or that we had with the Biden administration in 4 years.
Can you read the super chat, please?
$5 comes in from my sugar baby Anson Knowles. Don't be frigid like Arthur Dea, and smash instead of teasing the like button.
Yes. Yes. All right. All right. I think he capitalized smash for a very specific reason. I'm not going to get into it because I'm a married man, but anyway. All right. You gentlemen out there. Yeah. Yeah, so it's an interesting thing, right? Like Trump comes in, he's not even angry yet. Like he's not even mad. Like he's not even. I mean, he's just like going to work. It's like going to work Monday morning for him. He's just like, hey, I'm just what I do every day, and he's knocking it out of the park. It's crazy.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then the liberals are beside themselves. If you listen to the CNN and mainstream media, they're absolutely apoplectic over the fact that he's actually getting stuff done. And they're starting to try to file lawsuits to, bog up the system.
That's how you know it's working. That's how you know it's working.
The only one I think we're going to have some difficulty on, and I would love to have Imperius up here for this, is the 14th Amendment with the birthright citizen.
Yeah, we've debated that recently.
They're going to run into some problems with that from a constitutional point of view. I realized the intent was to have former slaves become and their children be citizens.
I actually think it's. I don't think we're going to run into any problems at all. I'll tell you why in just a minute. Let me read this from Angel Berber, who did not send in a super chat, but it's very good reading anyway. It is a blessing that Trump didn't win the last election. The 4 years of everything attacking him has pushed him to this point, attacking and doing what he said he would do without reservation. I kind of agree, but I also disagree because I honestly believe that Trump would have done this in his second 4 years because he wouldn't have had the pressure of re-election in front of him. But for sure, he's gone way harder after the FBI and the rest of the investigatory agencies than I think that he would have for sure previously. So that's something to be said. So getting back to this, Arthur Daya. So here's it's pretty clear that from the way it's written that the 14th applies to children born to citizens in this country, not if you come here illegally and hide out long enough to have a child, and that child is then a citizen, or if you fly over here for a holiday, have the child here and then go home. And so it's an interesting thing, and I think it's good that he's forcing this because eventually it will go into eventually it's going to go into the
I do think it'll go all the way to the
Supreme Court
for that
one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. All my donos are to prevent imp minus his balance. Okay. So we had $20 put up. I now have $20 against. Okay. It's a bidding war, fellas. Who's going to win? Get the Imperius up here. We're back to zero.
Is anyone running a count on this, by the way?
I am. We had $20 from Sirius Shelby to come up, and now I have $20 from Mr. Ogar to put him down. That sounds bad, but anyway. But I think it forces it in front of the Supreme Court, which it's needed to be, right? It's needed to be in front of the Supreme Court for a while. And nobody's ever wanted to go there because nobody wants up until now, nobody's really wanted a verdict. And I think Trump feels like or has a good I think he has a good inkling, if you will, that the way it's going to go is, that the justices will vote for. The justices are going to vote for the original intent, which was you have to come here. You can't just be born here and be a citizen. That portion of the 14th was clearly meant for the children born here of freed slaves and other people.
The question would be though, if
Yeah,
they're going to follow
TTS, stand by.
the
Seriously,
law
Shelby
versus
Standby.
donated
police
$10.
intent
Super chat.
initially.
Lamau
Stand by.
$10 for Impy. Let the troll wars begin. Dang Anson's future ex-wife is on panel.
That's funny. I'm going to read it just because she was talking still. $10 from Serious Shelby, laughing his ass off. $10 for Impy. Let the troll wars begin. Dang, Anson's future ex-wife is on panel. All right. All right. So we're $10 up. We gotta get 10 more, and Impy can come on, unless somebody. You're cool, man. Don't worry about it. Look, I always say if you can't afford to send money, or it's just not in you to do donations, please do not do so. All right. So, what do you think about that, Arthur Dye? Do you think that they're going to finally clarify the original intent through the Supreme Court, or do you think that the Democrats will never let it see the Supreme Court because they fear the judgment?
I don't know how to predict how this court would rule on this, because given the current makeup, it's obviously leaning in a more conservative originalist way, where obviously the intent was to help the children of enslaved Southerners to become citizens. I don't know though. I mean, the literal letter of the law simply says if you're born here, you become a citizen.
TTS coming through.
Donated $10.
I don't know how they would rule
Super
on
hold on.
chat. Bring up high MP already.
Here. Needs favoritisms, the tisms. Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely currently the court would probably rule in the original intent of the 14th Amendment. And it's not that necessarily, I don't believe it leans conservative. I think it leans towards, I will kind of steal your word, original, original intent. Right? Does that make sense?
I mean, you've got Clarence Thomas, Sam Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, right? John Roberts tends to run a little bit to the more liberal side. All
right. Well, but yeah, I understand that, but super. Got a super chat coming through. Got TTS coming through. It's going to hit any second. It should. Why is it not? Well, let me re-trigger it. That was weird. Are you having mic issues? Are you banging around over there? I can hear you typing.
I'm not having mic issues. I'm just typing my. I don't know why Anson's thing is not coming through.
That was weird.
Mr. Mister is describing John Roberts as the Fetterman of the Supreme Court.
Yeah. That was weird. I feel like that that chat. It was very strange.
Greetings, Clovertack.
What's up?
Went somewhat wrong.
Technical
I'm gonna re-trigger your last super chat and see if it'll.
Have you got it set for
Clover
10
Tack
plus or
donated
just
$10. Super
10
chat.
plus,
Bring
but
up IMP
something
already.
weird happened. It's like the stream lagged out.
I was getting lag on my end as well from you.
Yeah, it's like my stream lag. Well, we do have some rain here and whatnot, so it could be affecting something somewhere that I'm not aware of. But let's try this. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how to re-trigger it. Anyway, so I'm going to read it. $20 from Anson Knowles. Thanks for making it rain, Sugar Mama. Keep Imperious off this panel. He needs to stay away from my woman. Dang. Anson being all protective and stuff. Chad, did we disconnect or something? Did something weird happen?
looks good over on where I'm looking.
Yeah, all right.
So,
All right. Welcome, Clover Tack. What did you have to say on this issue? I know you came up just to BS with me.
what are we on? The naturalization thing?
Actually, we were just talking. I mean,
we're
it's a
taking
talking
notes.
stream, so
Or
you know,
what
whatever you want
Trump's
to go with.
done? Or, man, he's making people lose their fucking mind between him and Elon. That's for sure.
Oh, dude, that's been hilarious
I don't-
watching.
I don't understand how people can get so. Yeah, I mean I can because it's political theater, but can get so upset with them cutting fraud and waste out of the government. It's like, shouldn't both parties be for that? Like, I don't get the problem here.
Yeah.
I will say this:
You've got thousands and thousands of government workers who are suddenly seeing their cushy work at home, do nothing jobs about to be cut because they're being discovered that they're not actually contributing anything and they're just siphoning off money, and then they get these big pensions. I can tell you that I work at the VA and I can see this happening where we've got all these people who used to actually be in the actual hospital working on all these administrative things, and they all got sent home during COVID and they've never come back to work. And they're very difficult to get them to respond to anything you need done over there. And that you've also got these big USAID and similar organizations are basically big slush funds for liberals to throw around money to gain power where they want to and donate back to their favorite causes, which in turn donate to them.
So I need you to have. I want you to have the right expectation of what USAID actually is. USAID is an organization that, in theory, is supposed to use money to help people that we would want to help. But the reality actually is that the reality is actually it's literally a slush fund for the CIA to use to disrupt other governments. That's why they're doing things like siphoning off money and sending, money that's supposed to go to Ukraine into Saudi Arabia, and that's why literally it's not really a meme to have the rockets, from Syria that says paid for by USAID on the side of them, impacting the Iron Dome that says paid for USAID on it, and then us shooting down the rockets from a Navy ship and those rockets also say paid for by U.S. aid. So it's really an interesting. It's really interesting, and it's crazy, honestly, to think of it, but it really is like what you would read about in like a Robert Ludlum book, right? It's literally a CIA black fund. And I have to think that Trump went after it on purpose. I think he knew it was a CIA black fund. And I think he knew that it's very hard for people to say something like USAID's a great organization because it's perfectly evil. I mean, like perfectly evil. Like it's evil that Satan admires. And yet and yet we have people who are talking about how great it is. It's for the children, you know. It's for the children. Anyway, I'm ranting.
Well,
Let me read this from Anson Knowles, and I'll let you two guys rant for a minute. The phrase "subject to the jurisdiction thereof" in the 14th Amendment was intended to exclude children of unauthorized immigrants or those not owing allegiance solely to the U.S. That is correct. And that's why no 14th Amendment case has ever made it to the Supreme Court in regards to immigration.
That's not entirely true, though, because there's a case such as the U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark. And this was the case of a 20-something-year-old guy who was born to Chinese national parents who had immigrated here, and they were not eligible to become citizens. And so this young man had been leaving.
But they had legally immigrated here. Yeah, I understand. I understand. They had legally. Go ahead.
They had, and it's not too clear to me, and maybe Imperius is more familiar with this case, but the parents were living here in the United States as Chinese nationals. They were not eligible to become citizens. And so this young man had been leaving to visit relatives in China and coming back. And on one occasion, he was denied re-entry to the U.S. because they said he was not a citizen, even though he had been born here in this country. And so they ended up contesting the case all the way up to the Supreme Court. And it held that children who were born here to parents of foreign descent were entitled to be citizens of the U.S.
So there are two things. First, they also found Roe v. Wade, and that was wrong. Second, the Supreme Court, in its interpretation, was likely swayed by the fact that his parents were here legally. They were legally here, subject to our laws, right? Like they were subject to, to being here. They were okay to be here. They were not, while they were not citizens themselves, which I honestly think they made a mistake there. But that sentence that Anson posted is actually correct. How say you, Tack of the Clover?
Yeah, I agree with your assessment there, and I think that's likely what went down, right? I mean, that's the whole thing that we're talking about when we're talking about, when the word jurisdiction is thrown around, that has to do with legality, and so you have to be here legally. Now, what's interesting about it, and this is what gets into the whole loyalty thing. If you get what am I thinking? What's the word? Not ambassadors, not delegates, but you get what I'm saying. You get people here on an official trip from a foreign company, and then they give birth here. They don't get fucking citizenship, and I mean, but they're here legally, right? They're not here illegally.
Well, that's actually provided for specifically.
Yeah. But that doesn't count. But that also gets into the loyalty issue with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're here on behalf of their country, then obviously they haven't pledged their loyalty to the U.S. because they're on behalf of the country. So, I don't think you can acknowledge one and then dismiss the other. I don't think it works that way. To me, that's an inconsistency.
Right. No, I think that's true.
I emphasize as far as what ought to be, the way things ought to be interpreted. I just don't know how they will rule because they do look at precedent and consider that when making
I
their
think it's
ruling.
going to be a Roe v. Wade thing.
The general, that's why it was such a landmark that they overturned Roe v. Wade, because generally courts will defer to precedent set by prior courts.
Depends on the
Yeah.
makeup of the justices, right? It depends on if you have constitutional justices or you've got presidential justices.
And we really today, as of today, we have very, very constitutional justices. And Sotomayor, even though she leans left politically,
Constitutional. She's pretty
she is absolutely constitutional. Like if the Constitution doesn't say
Kavanaugh's
it,
not though.
yeah, Kavanaugh has been kind of a disappointment.
Yeah,
because he's not. He doesn't. It's interesting that the justice that everybody points to as being the liberal on the panel is the one that always votes constitutionally. The one that is pointed to as a conservative who has been championed by so many because of the false allegations leveled against him. He's the one that constantly votes not unconstitutionally. So it's very interesting, but I don't think that I don't think it's a
well, I think that regardless of the of this, regardless of the cutting the waste, the stuff Doge is doing, whatever. I think that I love what they're doing. I like the direction they're going. The problem,
moving fast enough.
No. I don't think they're focusing on the right things. They probably should be focused on immediately. I give them 6, maybe 8 months. If they don't get a handle on some of the price of goods and especially groceries and other things, they're going to have a real problem come midterms. And that's potentially going to gridlock. I mean, it would be wonderful to have Trump and a lame duck and continue to hold Congress. That would be fucking wonderful. But that is a pipe dream if they don't get a grapple on the things that immediately affect everybody in this country.
Well, I agree with that.
I love the cleaning up the border, and I love the cleaning and all this other stuff, and the way I love all that shit. Love it. Let's go. Let's do it.
We'll talk about that in just one second. Let me kind of go through here and stir the pot. Mr. Boulay says to I think Arthur Dias' point, more than 60,000 workers had already accepted what's formerly known as a deferred resignation as of Thursday afternoon, according to a senior administration official. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
Unfortunately, that is still less than 1% of the federal workforce, and I think they were hoping more people would take them up on that offer. We've had all these emails circulating around the VA because the VA employees, some of them at least, doctors and nurses are not eligible for that. If you're considered essential, you're not eligible. But emails have been circulating around. There's just a lot of confusion and lack of understanding as to what that means. If you resign, if you can ever be rehired by the federal government, or if you can, if you're out for good. And no one quite knows how to answer those questions right now. So there's a lot of people that would consider taking it. Imperius is saying in the Wong case, the parents were citizens. I'm pretty sure they were not. I believe they were Chinese nationals who were not eligible to become citizens because at the time it was only if you were a free white person you could become a citizen. Bring my boy Imperius up.
That's impossible because the 14th Amendment wouldn't have been signed at that point.
I love lawyers. They're good at arguing.
The Supreme Court ruled on birthright citizenship. See U.S. v. Wong Kim Ark from 1898. This determined 14th Amendment, regardless of parental status. I don't think that's true. Yeah, the parents were born in San Fran. Okay, interesting. I seem to have missed a chat somewhere. That's okay.
Kind of along Clover Tack's point, though, the Congress needs to get their shit together because they've already made an embarrassment of themselves just trying to get a majority leader elected. And, if we can't get the Republicans in Congress to organize themselves and work towards some common cause, they need to do something like Newt Gingrich and the Contract with America years ago. They could be very powerful if they wanted to, but there's so much infighting among these people, they can't get anything done. And it's frankly embarrassing because the Democrats seem to manage to get all their extreme progressives and more moderates together and toe the line when it comes to actually forcing legislation through and combating Republicans.
Well, and especially when they've been handed such a mandate as they was handed in November. I don't get the lackluster fucking attitude,
It's an interesting. It's going to be interesting. I do believe that Silvar Ogre was it Silvar Ogre that said it, or Mr. Mister said if he can get the tax reforms up before next year, the inflation will go down. The one we need is no tax on overtime because it was raised production, which is how you lower inflation. Yeah, I agree with that. I think we have to have production increase. Wicked Wally, come on up on the panel, buddy. Somebody get Wally a link.
And Imperius is pointing out with regard to the immigration question, saying that quote unquote subject to the jurisdiction thereof, illegals are not, and therefore their kids should not be considered citizens by that.
Yeah, again, that's why no one wants, and nobody has wanted an actual case trying illegal, putting this in front of people, because it falls down. And sorry, I'm trying to keep my coat from getting too wrinkled. Somebody has. By the way, Chad has paid.
Imperius can't come up unless somebody pays. What are we at? $20 now is the ransom.
It's $20. It's $20 to get Imperius up. Clover Tack paid the last 20 to get him up, and immediately Anson Knowles clapped back.
I was denied by the kitty cat. Man's known as
Anson Knowles, the
My
man,
cat
the
is
myth,
not cooperating tonight.
the kitty slayer. Yeah. Sorry, I needed refreshment. I mean, it's an interesting thing, right? I don't know what. I don't know really where we can go from here. Imperius, I can't let you. Dude, I know you have the link, but I can't let you up until somebody pays. It's not fair. So, what's up, Wally?
Good evening, Grid.
Tend to bring Wally. They paid to bring. I brought you up anyway. Tend to bring Wally up, just cause. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Wrongful rage
Out tonight.
We love to see
Saturday
it.
night
Always,
special with Wally.
always good to know I can help grift for Grid just by putting a shirt on and sitting
Intel
on camera.
Wild has got $20 to bring him up. I'm gonna go ahead and put Imperius on if you want him to get. If you want to pull him off, it's another $20. It's a $20 holla.
Might be the fastest 20 I've ever made.
Well, quickly before I get, listen, before I get sent to the back, shut up! Before I get sent to the back of the bus again, like the black, I'll,
Come on, baby. DEI is
Shut
out.
up!
Women have to shut up, and white men are.
Yes, shut up, God. Okay. First of all, when Glenn comes up here, you make sure I'm up here because I was told by like 10 DMs this morning that people were talking shit about me, and I wasn't even there. You've got Donovan Sharp.
I talked shit about you the other day, Imperius.
Yeah, but that's different. That's different. That's fine.
Really? People talk shit about you, Imperius? I'm sure.
No. But this was like the different kind of shit. This wasn't like the fun, messing around. This was like bullshit. And like this Donovan Sharp, like, let me say something. This man cucked for a white man, and this is what I'm saying. This dude tucked his legs between tucked his dick between his legs and clucked for Andrew Wilson like a bitch he is. You know, I made him look worse than Andrew did. And he wanted to stand up and be like, oh, no, white man. But you know what? The first time a white man can get him some money or some subs, he'll cluck like the bitch he is. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this little pussy ass bitch. Like, I'm sick of these pussies. You want to talk shit? Let's talk some shit. This fat old man with tits, dude. He's got bigger tits than his freaking mud shark wife. Like, what is this bullshit?
Can we bring up a picture of his wife?
I don't have a picture of Glenn's wife.
She's a dirty mud shark.
Not Glenn's. No, not Glenn's. The other guys.
Donovan Sharp.
Married? I don't know. I know nothing about him, so.
I don't know who we're talking about, so you have to be more clear.
Donovan Sharp.
Donovan Sharp. Yes. He can't get enough of talking shit about Imperius.
Well, dude, he runs from me, though. He's so, oh my God, I'll talk shit. But he won't do it to me because I enslaved him on this panel, wasn't it? Was it this panel? What panel did I put him back in chains? What channel did I brand him?
Panel, I think it was.
Was it this one? Okay, yeah. Great. I branded it. Okay, anyways, the court case. Yes, the Wong case. First, it's subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Okay. Look, illegals aren't subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That's why they're illegal nationals. An illegal national is not subject to the jurisdiction.
Okay.
Okay, first of all. That's the reason why
I'm going to give you a couple minutes because Silvar actually sent me the Cash App to push you down.
All right, yeah. I just wanted to say that. No, I'll be back whenever. Like, you know,
I repeat what you said because I didn't say I was talking over you. Go ahead.
Subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And that is the key phrase in the Wong case. And illegals are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof because they're illegal nationals, the same as what is that called? Children of ambassadors or whoever who were specifically excluded in that ruling.
Yeah,
that's the reason, and that's what you're going to get.
That's the way that I've always read it too, and I believe the law has been abused for a very long time.
Exactly. Well, and do you want me to explain why it was never challenged, really quick, before I get booted? The reason why it could never have been challenged is because there's no one was standing to challenge it. The government could not. The government cannot challenge it itself because it is enacted for the public good, and the money that's being spent, it has no standing to remove it. It's not being harmed. Okay, there's no harm, and then a legal wouldn't challenge it.
Yeah,
you know, and then a state can't challenge it, and a citizen can't challenge it because it's public policy. Right. You have to go through so there's no. Now what he did was he's removing it so that illegals are now challenging it, which creates standing so a court can hear it and it will be appealed to the Supreme Court.
And that's where I'm at with it too. All right, thank you, Imperius, but you got to go. All right, I'm going to hide you in the back. Bye.
Wait, come back. If we do
imagine
we have to be here legally, what happens to, there's a lot of kids running around out there who are now considered citizens. They're getting all these benefits, which is the point of having an anchor baby. Do we undo the citizenship of all those people?
Revocation, baby.
That's going to be
revocation.
That's going to be a hazard. That's going to be a step where if it gets that far, you know, you're going to have all the Democrats screaming for amnesty to be called for it.
Yeah, there probably will be. There'll be an amnesty period, most likely. But I wouldn't do it. But that's my opinion.
Well, because nobody's going to really have there's really isn't going to be a solution that pleases any side of it 100% as far as like, well, now how do we address the people who have already benefited from this misinterpretation who shouldn't have?
Right. Well, amnesty periods are a thing. There's historical precedents for amnesty periods. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, Wally.
Yes, sir.
You were on the panel with me the other night when the Furby showed up.
Yep,
and then I made it all about the Furby.
Yep.
How long did you stay?
I think I hung around longer at that point than I even meant to, just because I was trying to like give a proper outro because it was like my first time up on Sarah's. But then finally, like after 15 minutes of not being able to cut in just to say goodbye, I just kind of left a message in the back and dropped around like 12:30ish.
There's a massive amount of copium.
Yeah, like I don't know what any of that had anything to do with actual relationship questions. So that was totally like that was like a choose your own adventure panel that also lost the plot at the same time.
It was, yeah, it started off really good, and then it just went like way the fuck off into nowhere. All about the cope.
Yeah.
So I've got Sport Brand wants to come up. We're gonna do 4 on a panel tonight, maybe 5. Could I get somebody to drop down?
Yeah,
Drop down.
I'm with you.
DEI is now out. Women take a back seat to the white men.
Well, too late. The bearded guy dropped. He didn't give you the choice. He was like, nope. He's got it. All right, yeah, Sport Brand, you can come on up, buddy. Yeah, we talked business the other night on the channel. That was cool. But I really I want to talk so much shit on the Furby, but the problem is that I feel like that it's.
Can we get some context of what the Furby was saying that you objected to, and your? I don't
wasn't
know that
I objected. How do I put this delicately? It was literally a panel about women being run through or men being cucks, and we have a man who cannot have children coming up talking about how he just couldn't even see. He couldn't even see having children ever in his life or whatever. So, but it was just like the weirdest guilt trip bunch of nonsense I've ever had to sit through. And it was just weird. It's like, it would have been cool, honestly, if what's that thought girl that was on the other night?
Nova?
No, not Nova. Although that would have been this was, I think, this is like something thought, like ever something.
Yeah,
thought.
Are you talking about School of Thought? That was like Nova School of Thought, I think.
No, not on Serious Stream. It was on BK the other day.
Oh, you talking about Eternal?
Eternal Thought. Thank you. I can't keep the thoughts.
You're talking about the minion I appropriated from James several weeks ago.
Yeah. So did you really? That's hilarious. So
hey, you know what? I talked to her, and look at it. She came on the stream yesterday. She got in that debate with James, and she was savage on him.
She was savage. Wrong, but she was savage.
One step at a time, Grid. I got to get her savage before I can get her correct.
Yeah, right. Yeah, do a better job, Ben. $9.99 comes in from Wrongful Rage. Furby took it from already having kids to have to worry about having kids, which was weird. It was, the whole thing was weird. Like it was creepy, actually. And it was creepy in just the strange way. But at any rate, it wasn't that I objected to it, Arthur Dias, so much as it had zero to do with the actual conversation. We were literally talking about, and for example, what is your opinion on a single mom? Is that a woman that has been run through and for the streets, or what? What do you think?
No, because I've met plenty, I've dated plenty at times, and it really does depend on the person. Like, you actually have to get to know the person. You have to get a better sense of them before you just. It
would have been great to have heard that from you on the actual panel. That would have been awesome. What about you, Arthur Dia?
I mean, I agree with Wally. I'm sure there's some single moms who were married virgins, had a couple kids, and some horrible man abandoned them. And they're clearly not run through. They were doing their best to be a good wife and mother. Now, there's also women out there who are running around popping out kids and getting the welfare and whatever. And obviously those women are run through and not someone you would want to consider marrying. And I think we've completely missed the definition of a cuck, which comes from the word cuckold, which is meant to mean a man unknowingly raising someone else's kids because his wife's been out cheating on him. It doesn't mean a stepfather who's stepping up to the plate to knowingly help raise someone's children because he has that in his heart to be able to love and raise another man's child who needs a father.
I have to read this from Anson Knowles. $5 comes in from Anson Knowles. Imperius was wrong about the Wong case. Maybe he read the wrong case. When he reads it, he thinks Wong sounds like dong, and it gets his dong hard. Then his brain loses blood. Thanks, Anson. Appreciate that. I do. Making me read that. Special. I should have made Arthur Dyer read it.
I'm supposed to be reading these, yeah.
Well, you see, Arthur Dyer, about as far as I got to make as with the cuck part of the prompt was just to make the point that the fact that people ask the question at all is a symptom of the fact that cuck has become a catch-all term used as an insult for about 10 things that you can think of probably off the top of your head.
Yeah, it's not just kind of meaning like you're a pussy kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I made the point, for example, that I don't believe that most women, most single moms are run through. And I used a very specific example of you could, and we know it happens, meet a woman who has 2 or 3 kids by 2 husbands or by 2 different men that never even got married and just had sex 3 times. And each time she had sex, things happen.
Yeah,
it only takes once. I know that men don't believe that, but it only takes once.
Yeah, like we've said, like from a practical standpoint, like what's the first like when I like if I get if a single mother comes up and I'm on a dating app, like what the only thing I know for sure at that point is that okay, she's had sex at least once. That's all I know for sure.
Yeah. And I do think that there is something to this, Chronic comes in, says, I don't know. I didn't ask for my baby mom to leave 5 years after getting with me. Then she got with another few guys after me. But man, I like her other kids too. They're funny and cute. Makes me want to have another one. Hey, man, that's baller. That's baller. I got to be honest with you.
Look, if you get away from, I'm pretty sure, like, if you get away from a baby mom who behaves like that, and then over time, it's like you start feeling the urge to go back, that's got to feel like signing up for 2 tours in Afghanistan.
I don't know, man. I have a buddy of mine who he got married young. They were stupid, couldn't make it work out. I don't know, 4 or 5 years in, they split up, had a huge fight. Like I think one of them went to jail. I don't remember which one. Well, there's a problem. Kid goes with mom. Mom gets, has some relationships. I think she has another kid. Like 6-7 years later, they're doing the co-parenting thing, and we're actually a good fit for each other. They were just too young and stupid when they got married, and then they just kind of, he treats the kids she has by the other dude just like his kids. The other dude ended up being a fucking just a terrible mistake. So as far as I know, I'm not judging much. A little bit. $9.99 from Wrongful Rage. I had a 6-month rule. They don't meet my kid until I knew them for 6 months. I eat multiple dates and public interactions to gauge character and temperament. Solid rule. And by the way, remember, gentlemen, 3 dates before they get to see the peen. Words to live by.
That's like there is ways that when you're in the dating market that you can try to like suss out like the run through single moms, because they tend to use like some very boilerplate phrases to make themselves sound like they have a higher standard than they really do.
That's true. I can go with that. Anson Knowles sends in $5 American. Arthur Dye is doing good, auditioning to be my future single baby mama. Don't worry, the guys won't think you are run through.
He knows what he's talking about.
Har, har, har.
Glad I could help.
Is Michael a cousin? I gotta ask. You have to ask. So, yeah, Clovertack. I felt the same way. I mean, we're still friends, you know. But we're old people now, you know.
Yeah. Like if like I know like the past several years, like what like if where like my ex hasn't had her mom in the picture for about almost like 8 years, like if that's how it was when I was with her, we would have been fine because her mother was our biggest problem for the most part.
You know, it's wild how often that is in fact the case.
Oh yeah, because especially like if they get a lot of the bad behavior from their mom, like even at that point, like you get them moved out of the house, like you get them situated in a completely different living arrangement, and they still don't really separate from that kind of influence.
True. True. I thought Sport Brand was going to come up. Sport Brand, are you hiding somewhere? You not where you at, buddy? Thought he was coming up. I had Clovertack drop for nothing. I hate doing that, man.
Silva says he made his ex-wife wait 3 months. After that, she asked him to marry her.
Damn straight.
Turn of social.
Damn straight. This should trigger TTS unless we broke it. Maybe.
Is it
I think
broken?
it's just got a lot. Dang it. Broke the TTS.
You want me to read it?
Please do.
$10 from Mr. Boulay and the Department of Numismatics. Dickens Cider, a tasty brew by your at Friends Tactical Soap, a Grondike soap company. Not sure if the kid is yours? Better check to see if you're Dick Insider.
Better check to see if it was your Dick Insider. I see what you did
fair
there.
Point. It's fair point.
I see what he did there.
Yeah. That's right. All right. So Wally, how have you been? How did VK go last night? So, by the way, I didn't dip out on you guys on purpose. I literally yesterday I was on VK. I was having a good time. I was dressed up, ready to go, ready to fight.
The hat, like you were ready to go.
Yeah, I had the Indiana Jones hat on.
It was epic.
I was ready to rock and roll. And then I got a text from my I have an Airbnb, and apparently the guy had misentered the code to the door so many times it had locked the lock up. So I had to drive an hour and a half over there, unfuck the door, and hang around until he got back from dinner, and him and his wife got back from dinner, so they could make sure that they could get into the house. And by the time I got back, it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I was like, yeah, actually, I called it at like 8:30. I was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. I had 13 put it up.
You deserve some extra gratuity from them for that, I think.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
You went above
I
and
really
beyond.
want the 5-star review, baby. That's all I want.
Yeah, you went above and beyond.
I did. And time to work.
That was the thing about having a teenager is when a teenager is present, you learn to keep certain things in a security box.
In a secure location.
Yep.
So I was just I was beat, so I just went to bed early. So I didn't even go on Verbal Combat last night. So how was VK Daytime Edition? Who won that? And then What about the nighttime edition?
Daytime edition came down to me, JS, and I forget who the other one was left, but I came in second, and JS got his first win.
Did Effigy beat Teriak?
I don't believe so, but I know
That's the one I
Teriak
left in the
definitely
middle of.
lost he definitely had lost a debate. Because the
Yeah.
nighttime and the daytime shows like kind of blend together, especially when nothing stood out as good as like James versus Eternal there to wake me up in the morning.
True. I think it's really interesting because we had when I was there hanging out, the first one I came in on the Eternal Thought versus James, and he absolutely I don't know how he thought he won that debate. Like, he just kept repeating the same thing over and over and over, and it didn't even make sense. You know, it's one thing to be like, no, sir, this is the way it is. No, sir, this is the way. If you're right, but he wasn't even right.
Like,
and then,
because here's the thing, like he was actually losing on the prompt, and I think I will give her credit. She was talking about marriage as a whole. Like he was trying to narrow it down to be like, no. Only Christian marriage within the Orthodox Church that's viewed as a sacrament is marriage. Like, yeah, but that's not marriage for everybody.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, is marriage as a status like good for society as a whole? He was trying to just narrow it down to the point that it felt like it would feel like he won by default if she conceded to that definition, and she didn't concede to the definition, which was, dare I say, it's smart.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, I think, because we got $10 from Ants and Knowles. This is to save the cat lady. UNF a door with lubrication. Don't worry, I brought the. Never mind. I'm gonna let the cat lady reread that because that's weird.
So you said you had to unfuck your door. So I commented. I commented that JD Vance knows how to F a sofa. How do you un-F a door? So Anson Knowles sends in $10 to save me from future cat lady status. You un-F a door with lubrication. Don't worry, he brought the lube.
Alrighty. Pardon me.
Is that like WD-40?
I'm not really sure. You beat Teriak both daytime and nighttime. So Effigy was so far in the fucking weeds yesterday. You know, usually he has better takes, but there's something about the Elon thing that just drives him fucking nuts, and it's great. I now know if I want to beat Effigy, all I really need to do is pick Elon and immigration, or Elon and USAID, and Effigy's going to lose his shit every single time.
Yeah, I remember Chris saying that now. He beat Teriak on a term limit debate.
Really?
Yeah.
Teriak was for or against?
Against. Or no, he was for. Yeah, he was against term limits. Yeah.
He was against term limits. Teriak?
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, he was. Because, like, again, and I know, like, it was a point I was making to Chris afterwards, like, because I think there was a bit, like, at one point they were kind of talking past each other on what he meant by term limits. And, like, I know Teriak was saying, like, no, term limits doesn't mean you vote for dictator. Term limits means, you know, you serve for X amount of years and you still have to run on your record after that amount of years if you want to run for a third time or whatever.
Right, which is the way it is now.
But for president, you can't run for like a third term.
President, no, but we do need term. I'm a firm believer in term limits, and that we do not need professional politicians. Have you heard Andrew's I think it's Andrew's take on politicians, right? Or maybe it's
I've heard a
maybe
lot
it's my
of them.
buddy Ken. It's
Well, we need
he's
more
got like the
progressive
best
politics.
take
We
on
don't
it.
have people that sit around Congress for 50 years like Joe Biden did.
Yeah. So that it might be my buddy Ken, but I thought it was Andrew as well. So you can only serve 2 terms consecutively in any political organization. So Senate, House, whatever. If you go to if you're in Congress and you go to the House of Representatives, you only get, and you do 2 years in Congress as a senator, or pardon me, as a senator, and then you go to the House of Representatives, you can only do 1 term. And then you're done. You can't be president, you can't be anything else. That's it.
Yeah, I haven't. That's not an Andrew take that I've heard. So that's definitely from someone else, you know.
Yeah, that's probably Ken. I love that take. That's awesome. Like, that's the best thing ever. That answers all the questions.
See, this is where, like, when people take term limits into a hypothetical, I get it. And it sounds great getting rid of term limits in a hypothetical, because hypothetically, people would actually care if you were running for a 3rd term and you had to run on your record. But we are so entrenched along ideological lines, especially in particular states, that, like, it doesn't, like, the record of a career Democrat in Massachusetts does not matter. You can just keep running and you'll get voted because Mass is overwhelmingly blue.
Yeah.
Like, that's where term limits are important, because when you have an area where, like, the population is just so entrenched, like a candidate's record doesn't matter to them. They just care about the affiliation.
Well, then you have to get in. Then we get into gerrymandering and all of that with districts, and it becomes an entirely different conversation. So it was interesting. What did you think of, I'm going to cam down for just a second. What did you think of the daytime VK?
The daytime one was fun for a first, like, experiment launch of it, and it ended up working really well. I thought it was going to anyway, but I think with some of us, definitely, like me myself, for sure, like, had a different level of energy at times, because, like, I rolled out of bed like it was 2:30. I rolled out of bed like a half hour early and got myself presentable to be on camera and hopped on the show around like an hour or so in, and then I'm slowly, like, waking my brain up, and then I'm in a 1v1 before my brain's even awake.
That's awesome.
Did you see that one with me and that Juan guy, Grid? That's a funny shit talking story.
Yeah.
We have this 1v1 on where it's like the benefits of feminism or something like that. He loses to me.
Benefits of feminism.
Yeah, he loses to me on that. No surprise there. But the whole time it's like he's talking about, well, isn't it so great that, like, you know, everybody can be equal and blah blah blah, and then at the end, so he's talking like a male feminist, like he's giving you the male feminist talking points to defend feminism, basically.
Sure.
And then when he gives his outro, he mentions, oh, I'm going to be doing videos about a weight loss journey. So because he says my journey, a bunch of us in the chat start blowing up my journey in chat. And he took super offense to it and continued, like, he was crying about it in the chat. He was crying about it in the Discord and shit, I guess, like yesterday. And he came back that night to confront me about it. And I'm like, dude, you clearly don't get the joke. You were talking like a woman after defending feminism. We made fun of you. That's all we did. Like, I stood up and I'm like, any more complaints you have, you can tell them to my chair, because I'm not listening to you.
Because I'm not even here. We're not even going to listen to you, man. And it's, well, man, I don't know. It's pretty stupid right now, the way things are going. What other things can we talk shit about this week, Wally? Or Arthur Dye? Arthur Dye, you've been strangely quiet.
I'm learning to be a nice, sweet, submissive little housewife over here.
I saw that earlier. You're submissive, soon to be the submissive ex-wife of Anson Knowles.
I mean, Imperious was about to go haywire on
Space.
what's his name? I can't think of his name. The guy you had, Donovan Sharp, and you didn't let him.
Donovan's not here.
Isn't that the point of trash talking? I mean,
We understand your point, Arthur Daya. It's very ladylike and respectable, but I think what Grit is trying to say is that for the sake of content, we need a woman with some complaints.
I mean, I could become more quarrelsome if you like.
She's usually very quarrelsome. Very.
You haven't pushed any buttons or hit any topics I specifically.
I know. That's because
on most of it.
That's because all of the trash talking we're doing is about things that you would trash talk as well.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I know when Effigy was going off about Musk, I was just... The George Soros point was where he just immediately lost me, and I shook my head because I'm like,
I think he lost everybody there.
Like, dude, those are two completely different competing philosophies. Like this, like you're comparing Musk to a guy who deliberately tries to stack the deck in Congress so that he can so that government gets voted on expanding as much as he wants it to.
Dude, Soros has literally said publicly on the record, he no longer even cares who wins the presidency. He is putting his money to get prosecutors and district attorneys elected because they interpret the law and they're the ones that actually matter. They're the ones that get it done. And so he's been buying seats for those guys. That's why we have we have things like Ferguson happening. We have things, Chaz happening because these district attorneys, and we'll just let it happen. And so, he said that publicly. That's literally enemy action. Like literally, our forefathers would have stepped up behind him and put something to the back of his head and did something that rendered him inert forever.
Different when one of those things where it's different to the it's different to the Dems who care about corruption when he does it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is one reason why they're so upset about this USAID thing is because they donated over $270 million to George Soros's Open Society foundations for the last 15 years. So basically, they've got this, ongoing relationship with George Soros where he funds and campaigns for them and donates money to their cause, and they give money back to him and his organizations.
Yeah, I mean, it's a CIA front doing CIA shit. What do you expect?
Everybody's known what he wants to see for 20 years or more. He wants to see the concept of national sovereignty eroded. He wants open borders worldwide. He wants, massively expanded socialist welfare states. Like that's Soros's global vision. Like that's been his vision for 20 years. More than that, probably, but the 20 years, I've been hearing it since I was out of high school. That's been his MO from the beginning.
I mean, I don't know. So Musk I'm not afraid of Musk doing anything evil. I'm afraid that he might do something accidentally that turns out to be evil. But even he's the one warning everybody about AI. This is literally the guy building AI saying, yeah, I don't know if we should be doing this. Right.
See, I got mixed opinions on AI. Some of them I agree with other people, and then I'll have the occasional take that'll rub some people the wrong way. Like, I really don't have, if somebody like me who has no art talent of their own for the most part, it's I like the idea that it's like I can have like image like tools that can make it easier to like make images that are more in line with something that I personally vision because I can describe it best than having somebody else try to like make it for me. I can just keep refreshing images and go like, this is closer to what I want. This isn't. This is closer. This isn't. And you can refine like how you write it. Like what you get out of those image generators is only as good as the input you're giving them to work it. So it's
yeah, I like that. Arthur Dyer, can you read this one? This was pretty good. I like what Mr. has to say.
Mr. says there is a reason the DNC superdelegates decide the nominees because they pay for those candidates. They buy elections and policies. Very accurate.
It is actually that, and it's interesting that they condemn like Trump and basically any conservative, but yet we don't use superdelegates the way they do. And if you say anything about the superdelegates and how they're basically paid for, well, you just don't understand how things work. But it's pretty damn apparent that elections are being bought and sold by the bushel, so to speak. So.
You know what I still say, and I've said this for several years now, the way they really need to reform the electoral system is I think the electoral college needs to be brought down to the state level. I think the state electoral votes should be determined by how the counties vote, because then that actually reduces the influence of major cities on a state even more.
Okay.
Because now, like, even if you have, like, you look at how California votes, like a lot of areas in California vote red, but those conservative votes in California do not matter because of LA and because of San Francisco. And like, you have the cities move the entire state in a federal electoral system. Whereas if we had a state by state system alongside that as well, it would weigh out the value of the county populations equally.
Yeah. Musk is I'm sorry. Arthur Dyer.
$2 comes in from my adopted pet cat, Anson Knowles. Musk is the wealthiest beneficiary of government spending and tax incentives for green nonsense. He is evil pretending to be good, like a cat lady pretending to be beneficiary of feminism.
It's not wrong. It's interesting because the number one thing, and Effigy did the same thing. The number one thing Dims will start out with is he's the biggest government contractor, and now he's in charge of efficiency. But I don't think that's true. Is that true?
I don't know, but it's also not really relevant to me because here's the thing. I've always kept my trust in Musk at like arm's reach at the very least anyway, because even when he started turning around on Twitter years ago, like he struck me as somebody who like just a year before was given a lot of very safe, like, you know, PC, let's all get along kind of takes. And then he just started kind of slowly shifting. Like he wanted to be in, like, he's almost like, he's like, I think this is where the wind is blowing now, so I'm going to pivot and go this way.
You know, I have a little bit different takes. I think Musk has been going further and further libertarian. I can't call him a conservative, but he's been going further and further libertarian the more kids he has, the more money he makes, the more tax he pays. It's like, you ever been to a city and you're like walking around and it's fucking awesome, dude, and you love it. It's great. It's awesome. And then you live there for like 3 months and you start noticing shit, right? Like, fuck, this is a bad area. I can't go there. Oh, I used to love this little market, but they overcharged, by twice. Right. Like literally go 1 block over and the same shit is half price. And you start realizing that everything that you kind of thought is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you were too busy being new to the scene. You're too busy enjoying it, too busy, going here, going there. But when you take time to kind of settle down, it works. It works out that all of a sudden you start caring, you start being a little bit better. You start having a better mindset. Stephen Akari, SpaceX takes billions of federal dollars. Aren't they taking those billions of federal dollars because the federal government cannot put satellites into space as cheaply as Musk?
Well, we don't even have spacecraft that are online right now still, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's not that SpaceX takes billions of federal dollars. It's that it costs money to send rockets into space, and his company does it, and he's a for-profit business.
Well, and this was something that even like predated like recent years, like going all the way back to like the maybe the late aughts, early 2010s. Like NASA started giving seed money to private enterprises, including Tesla, including SpaceX and Tesla and others as well at the time that were trying to start up, because the spacecraft were going offline and they didn't want to have to piggyback on other countries' shuttles indefinitely to get American astronauts into the space station. So they figured, well, long term, it may be a better way to go to invest in these private operations, and we can have a stake in getting our people on their craft because we've been subsidizing their R&D.
Well, I'd also point out that SpaceX was contracted to go up to the International Space Station and rescue 2 of our astronauts because NASA couldn't get their shit together due to some sort of technical issues and bring the astronauts home. And Elon stepped up to the plate to help with that. So if our tax money went to kind of offset some of its costs, I really don't have a problem with that.
So didn't SpaceX... they actually didn't win the X Prize, right? It was Burt Rutan that won the X Prize in Virgin Atlantic.
Yeah, I remember because they tried launching like Virgin Space or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and I think Elon bought the remains of that.
Yeah.
But there's still, if you drive through Mojave, it still says the Mojave Air and Spaceport on the sign, because they're one of the few places where they've actually launched a spacecraft and recovered it and able to use it again. I mean, the things that Elon's doing with spacecraft is pretty fucking crazy. Angel Berber's coming in. Again, the TTS is scuffed. I broke it. I don't know what I did.
Because that's the other thing, like people who talk about the space program and Musk's relationship with it in recent years with what SpaceX has been doing as they've been like ramping up their development of their projects. This was you can go back almost 20 years. Like this issue was actually pushed into the private sector by the government.
Well, we're supposed to be able to see the Tesla come back through space and be able to see it through telescopes. The one he sent into space with a guy in a spacesuit.
Oh,
where it's supposed to be, its orbit is supposed to bring it close enough that we can see it. Arthur Daya,
$10 comes in from Angel Berber. Lockheed Martin is the largest government contract with $64 billion. Elon just exceeded $20 billion. He isn't close to being the highest contractor. These leftists don't even know the basics.
Well, you know what it is that it's a simple misunderstanding of the terms. If we were talking about, any kind of international political issue or a war, then of course the liberals would be saying the biggest government contractors are the military industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're talking about combating government inefficiency, the biggest problem is Elon Musk.
Mr. Boulay, correction, it's Lucky Martin.
You know, that now that I think about it, also they're only proving why Doge needs to exist if suddenly like liberals hate Elon Musk so much they forget where $64 billion goes.
That's right. Well, so my favorite though is $800 billion goes to the Department of Education. They can't account for $8 billion a year over the last 10 years. 10% of their budget. They can't account for it. They don't know what happened is they spent it. They just don't know what they spent it on or who they spent it with or who got that money.
Yeah, meanwhile, our children are getting worse and worse in terms of their reading abilities, ability to, advance in STEM technology.
The guy who's only getting $20 billion a year is putting people on the fucking moon. I mean, seriously.
Well, that's the
We're
other
not getting
point.
$1 worth, people.
Well, that's the other point with the Department of Education. Like, should we really be surprised? Like, about $8 billion grid? Like, come on, the government organization that can't even teach a kid to read can't do math. Like, I'm not shocked.
That's funny. It's funny because it's true.
Like, I forget where I first heard it. I think I was in college at the time, and that's when I started getting more libertarian in my very early 20s, and I never forgot the point.
Are you a libertarian? Are you a libertarian or a conservative?
I'm a conservative now, but like I went through like a libertarian, like a conservative. I was always a conservative leaning libertarian. Like, I'm against this other social shit for reasons I don't fully understand because I'm 22, but I just don't like it.
Right. Gotcha.
But as far as like when it came to like, yeah, let's have guns everywhere, I was all for it.
Yeah, you didn't go full communist libertarian. You just went halfway.
I had the good benefit of like the openly socialist kids where when I first started college at 18 were also the most obnoxious kids I ever met. So I didn't want to fit in with them and I wanted to be completely different from them in every way possible.
$5 comes in if we can have the Arthur Daya.
$5 comes in from Mr. Boulay and the Department of Numismatics. All hail the military-industrial complex. Our influence grows, one memo at a time.
It's true. It's true, because that memo costs $1 billion.
I was actually hoping, instead of government efficiency, like I'll give the troll answer to people on the left. I'll give the troll answer. I was actually hoping Musk would waste more money. I was hoping for the Department of Giant Robot Defense. Like, I was hoping for some, like, insane shit.
Glenn Lawrence has entered the building. We're not going to have trouble with you and Glenn, are we, Wally? You guys aren't going to, like, face off.
No, I haven't heard a single meow out of my cat yet.
I know. It's being shockingly quiet.
Well, every time I say something, Wally opens up his mouth and just starts to ramble like we're on VK. He's too used to that blood sport stuff. I can't get a word in over him.
I'm also used to how much I hate government waste.
Yeah, well, the whole Elon thing, yeah, y'all are right about that. And as for the cat thing, I'm just gonna say that you got to pet me if you want me to purr. So.
Ooh. Kissy Cat says that she prefers Arthur Dye reading the TTS much better. I can use, can we use female voice? Let's see. You guys can keep jabbering. I'm just I'm looking at the
I wanted to make sure the the pouty cat got to get the more points out there.
Well, no,
pouty cat.
In terms of like the government waste, like the Elon Musk with Doge hasn't done squat. Nothing has actually been achieved because the executive branch doesn't have any control over the spending. It's the legislative branch, and nothing is.
Yeah, all he can do is identify it.
Yeah, he can identify it, and he can shift stuff around and make accounting adjustments. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't spend the money and it's still just sitting there, I mean, it's still going to be sitting there to spend. So, I mean, nothing's changed.
Yeah, I mean that's true, and nobody's disputing that. The only thing I can say is that we have to start somewhere, and the only place that we can really that seems to actually be effective at it is the executive branch right now. The nobody else is doing anything. I'm going to test this. Let me see.
And I would say even the fact that we're bringing light to some of the ridiculous spending that's going on for men having sex with men in Africa and, you know, Cambodian movies
Kevin
and all this
donated
craziness.
$99
No, it
super
didn't
We
chat.
need that
This is
highlighted
a
and
test
shown to
super
the
chat
American
message.
public that when they see USAID and, oh, it goes to help the foreign countries with HIV medications and stuff, that's not at all what it's going for. Imagine if we had all these millions and millions of dollars for your local schools or some local infrastructure or any other number of more worthy
We
causes.
do have millions and millions of dollars. That's the problem. Is that the Department of Education literally got $800 billion with a B dollars. They spent $800 billion in theory on education. How is it that kids can't read so good when we're literally spending more money than the space program? Lockheed Martin's getting $64 billion. The Department of Education gets $800 billion a year. That's crazy. It's nuts.
You know,
Am
and
I wrong?
allegedly Trump is preparing an executive order to abolish the Department of Education because all of those
Can't
departments
happen
are
soon
under the
enough.
executive branch.
Yeah, can't happen soon enough. Unfortunately, I don't believe he's going to be able to actually abolish it. I think at best, all he can do is to. Unfortunately, I really think that all he can do is maybe. I mean, he can call attention to it. He can do some short term stuff, but that's about it. He can't. Again, unfortunately,
So Grid, you were off on something. If you adjust the money for inflation, the cost to go to the moon is $318 billion.
I'm sorry.
The cost to go to the moon was $318 billion if you adjust it for inflation.
Oh yeah. Right. No, I was talking about the Lockheed Martin's getting $64 billion a year.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. Yeah, they need to be shut down. All of it needs to be shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have family members that are in the government. Actually, most of my family is government employees, former military, that sort of stuff. And they've all been offered that early buyout that Mr. Boulay was talking about, and they're considering doing it because it's a pretty sweet deal. I mean, you get all your pay for a really long time, and then you get to go about your business, and you can work and do all kinds of other stuff while you're getting paid at the same time. They're basically paying people to do nothing.
It's about 7 months of paid time off if they took it right now.
Yeah.
Until September 30th, and you can go work another job in that time. You could go literally make double your income just by resigning and going and working another job.
And they put a limited hold on it too, from what I've been told, that if you don't take it by
Kevin
Monday,
donated
you can't take it.
$49.
So
super
basically,
chat.
they said take it now
This
or
is a
not.
test super
And
chat.
Yeah,
then-
originally the deadline was Friday, yesterday, and they've now extended that deadline until I think Monday.
Yeah, but from what I've been told though, what's expected is that after that's done, they're going to start just the regular reduction in force, and basically this is like the nice way to get rid of people before they do it the mean way.
Yeah, because obviously, like people who are about close to qualifying for pension or people who are due for it aren't going to take a buyout. They're going to wait for their pension.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody's crazy enough to think that that's not the case.
Well, now some of them might just get cut anyway, so we may not be paying for those pensions.
Right. All right. So so did the female version of the TTS work better for everyone?
It's getting rave reviews in the chat.
Nice.
Does that mean I'm being outdone by technology again?
You have been replaced by technology. So
the technology of your own voice, Arthrodaya, has replaced you. Correct.
Did Glenn not come up? Where's Glenn at? I thought Glenn was coming up.
I don't know. He was in the chat. I don't know.
He was in the chat.
Scared him away.
No, he's busy. That dude's working all the time.
So Arthur Dye, I've been working on my shoulders in the gym. You like them?
They look great, honey.
That's funny. You know, that's exactly why. Poor Furby got kicked off the show that one night.
That was fun.
So Grid, are you a definite for next weekend in New Jersey?
Yeah. I got
Nice.
I have my tickets I'm doing both days, and then my son is doing is going to be there Saturday with me.
Ah, nice.
Or Sunday, pardon me, Sunday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there Sunday morning. Like I'm gonna be getting home from the concert with my son Saturday night, and then like 6 a.m. I got a flight out of Boston, so I'll be there for breakfast.
Boston?
Yeah.
Why in the world would you go to Boston?
Because flying out of Manchester was $500, Boston was $250 for a round trip for an hour and a half flight.
That seems excessive.
So I'll go into Boston at 3 a.m. and save like $250. I'm not made of stone. I'll take that.
You're okay with that?
Yeah. Well, it's going into Boston at 3 a.m. for a flight, and I did that last year around this time, and it was the easiest thing in the world at 3 a.m. Logan's dead.
I usually fly out of JFK or Newark when I fly. When I have to fly commercial out of there too, so it's a different thing.
Yeah, like if you're flying out like super early in the morning, and like I get into Boston at like 3 a.m. for like the check-in and everything, easiest process I ever went through in the world. All things considered.
Okay.
Oh, this time I'm going to wear boots that I don't have to untie for 5 minutes.
I'm the worst because I'm so used to being comfortable everywhere else. I got to get this read though. I'm sorry, my TTS is still. I think I'm going to have to reboot the stream to get the TTS to work. We're not going to do that.
$10 coming in from Wrongful Rage, who is off the rag. Oh, now we're all women, and I just got used to us all being black. Sorry.
That's funny.
What do you mean? The TTS just worked fine, Grid. That was beautiful.
That was a test. I can test it, but it's not. So we had something weird go on early in the show where it kind of like it lagged out real bad, and I think I have to basically refresh the show or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Thankfully, the Arthrodaya program is working just fine. I heard that program perfectly.
That's working great. So
That's
we'll
right.
just leave that alone.
Still haven't been beat out by some AI plastic sexed up doll.
Eventually, you're going to say enough words that Grid will be able to make the Arthrodaya program. That'll be
hilarious. That'd be hilarious. I'm one of the worst people when I go to fly, and I see people go through it all the time, and they're like dressed to the nines. They got their watch, they got massive watch on, bunch of rings. They got the necklace on. They got all big ass belt and all that. And I'm like, not me. I go through and like sweatpants, what I call kickoff shoes. Just slip-ons, and if I'm unfortunate, I wear a jacket.
It's kind of the
Otherwise,
feeling I go through the airport with Anson. I have to make him take off that big old gold chain he hangs around his neck.
I know.
Just
And
hanging down that sexy chest.
I just can't, because I hate, first of all, I remember the days before TSA security, and it annoys the fuck out of me that I still have to go through fucking TSA. Like, I'm still pissed about not being able to take my damn knife on the airplane, folks.
$5 coming in from wrongful rag. I guess I'm ragging again.
It's funny because he has both accounts.
Feminism.
That's hilarious. I personally, Anson Knowles, this one might be the best. That one might be the best.
I mean, that's the thing about wrongful ragging. Eventually, everything gets wiped out.
Not untrue. Yeah. There we go. Glenn, are you in the house, man? What do you, Glenn?
Silvar Ogre says Grid goes through customs like a male stripper going to a low-paying gig.
Fuck yeah, I do. Fuck yeah, I do. I'm like, I'm not even embarrassed about it. Like I'm so annoyed at having to go through security to begin with. I'm like, fuck it. My wife will wear like nice shoes and she's got like 3 different fucking bags with her and all this. I'm like, nope, not doing it. And I check everything. So
yeah, when I was flying last year, you see, at least this year, it's like I know I'm not flying into a totally different climate. Like New Jersey from Boston isn't going to be a change this time of year. It was way different when I was dressed for 20-degree weather, flying down into Texas, knowing I was just a couple hours away from it being like 75 degrees in Dallas that morning.
Yeah, so now it makes sense. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with your voice, but it's your Boston accent. I couldn't place it right away, man. That's like a
he has to chew each and every syllable before he lets it out of his mouth.
Fair.
You know that.
You got a Yankee on this panel?
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that him and Anson are so close to each other, and the war between states hadn't broke back out.
Yeah, well, my family lost a lot in that war. I'm done fighting that.
You done with that one? All right.
Yeah, done.
Lost a lot of good men.
We did, yeah. A lot of good stock, a lot of good breeding stock.
A lot of good breeding stock. So Wally, what can you is there anything you want to bitch about or not bitch about? Any funny observations you want?
Okay.
Any shit you want to talk about other streams or other people, other places? You're in a safe space. There's no judgment.
Oh, thank goodness. I really needed one.
I know.
I spend most of my time every weekend where my safe space of choice has open insulting encouraged. So what does that say about me?
How cold is it there, Wally? Can you guys see your breath when you walk out?
It's like low 20s right now. It actually started snowing like right as we were leaving the restaurant. We were like walking back like maybe 10 minutes from the house, but we got snowed on the whole way back.
No, sir. I'm wearing short sleeve shirt outside.
Yeah, I'm
gonna be pissed. I'm pissed tomorrow. It's gonna be 55 degrees.
Oh, this is that kind of like 20 degrees. Don't get me wrong. Like if I was just gonna haul some stuff out to my dumpster or something, I wouldn't even put on a jacket. I'm gonna be right back inside in like 2 minutes, and it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Like December, I was still wearing shorts some days when I woke up because it was still like warm enough till the sun went down for a little while. And actually, it actually got really humid around here for a little bit in December. I was confused.
Yeah. Are you Irish? Or are you like half black Irish? What are you?
My dad's family. His side is mostly all like a bit of a mix, like a German Irish mix.
That's why you can pronounce Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Right, not Tuesday.
Yeah. I don't.
I always forget to ask Teriak to say Tuesday. I'm like, I mean to every time, and I forget. Just say.
Well, it's like how
Tuesday.
like I try to hide the fact that I'm from where I'm from very well, because like I actually can enunciate R's at the end of words. I don't say ka.
Goodbye to Mr. Boulay. He's off to bed.
Good night, Mr. Boulay. Have a great one. We do have mods in here. Seriously, Shelby is still in the house. I think he may not be. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was roasting Teriak earlier before this stream on Cat's channel. He was complaining about how short men can't get women, and I was telling him that they shouldn't have been born defective if they wanted to get women. And he took offense to that and started getting all emotional and stuff. He ended up rage quitting Cat's channel because I kept roasting him from the chat.
Teriak?
Yeah, he got really upset about it. He said that I was acting like a woman, and then I said that he was having leprechaun coat.
I mean, he looks much less like a leprechaun now.
He's just jealous of my 6 foot tall, 6-figure, 6-pack, 6 whatever Anson.
That's it. Yeah, he was just jealous. That was my point.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got it, Arthur. These guys aren't getting it. I don't know. You just get me, you know.
That's right.
Look, I'm still waiting for the date to be determined, and even the starting topic to be determined. But apparently, me and Teriak were challenged to a tag team debate by Chris Lestrange. And have you ever met Brick Grid?
Can you call it the Irish leprechaun?
Yeah, Brick Jonesy or Bricky?
Bricky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bricky was the one who made the original challenge.
I piss him off so bad. I don't know why, but I piss him off. I mean, I think everybody does, but I really get him.
I was sitting back listening, like when Bricky was talking to Chris and was like issuing the original challenge to me and Teriak for the Speakeasy's like tag team debate championship that we hold right now, undefeated. But I remember saying to somebody later, I'm like, okay, well, the TLDR was that Bricky announced that he intends to eventually lose a debate.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, from what I understand, Bricky is one of the generally specific acolytes. He's in that orbit. I've been going around to all the different channels in this sphere trying to figure out who's associated with who, so I can make like a flow chart of like who goes where. And that's
I gotta ask, what is it with generally specific and everyone thinking he's a Fed and all of this other stuff? Like, I don't have a problem with him. He seems a little off to me, so I don't like get too deep into trying to converse with him because he's just off.
I know
that he went after Glenn for a while for some stupid reason. Glenn does not like it at all, which I can't say that I blame him.
I have personal feelings on that because he decided to resort to it in a debate with me. He's actually I think he was only the second person ever kicked off VK because of the no attacks on kids rule.
So hold on. All right. So Bricky. So you're talking about Bricky, the English guy who can't
generally specific. This is me and generally specific. Like because you just asked him. I'm like, well, me and personal.
Well, somebody said that he was a GS acolyte, and I was like, well, I don't get the.
Well, there may be more than one Bricky. I might be.
Jeremy's saying in chat, Anson, you're thinking Brick Jonesy.
That's it. Yeah, there's more than one.
Who, by the way, cannot debate.
Yeah, no.
Like I don't know. I mean, the funniest thing I've done, guys. I do a lot of funny shit, but one of the things that just gave me so much pleasure was putting JS, Adventure Sports, whatever fucking thing, Urban Adventures, Bricky, Dan the Viking, and some other James in a debate in a four-way debate on VK, and watching them try not to lose to each other. It was so much fun. That's why my tag is still a legitimate fight promoter, because what their whole idea is, they just want to sit up there and be really quiet and nobody fucks with them, And I'm like, wrong. I'm gonna fuck with you every time I'm there. Like, if you don't, you better volunteer, because if you don't volunteer, you're gonna get voluntold, and shit's gonna happen.
So I'll give you the full, generally specific story.
Yeah, man. I mean, help me out, because I know Glenn doesn't like him, and we've had some discussions about it. I'm not really sure, where that all goes. I know that other people don't like him. I don't care one way or the other. He's just kind of a weird dude to me.
He seems to be.
He's probably in my DMs right now. Let me slipping up in there. No, he isn't. I'm sorry.
He was
anyway. Continue forward. I apologize.
Yeah. So anybody who watches VK knows that there are only two rules to VK. One is keep to the YouTube TOS, and the second is don't attack people's children on the show.
Sure.
GS broke rule number 2, and he was only the second person ever to be booted from it, and that was in like episode 23 or 24. Actually, yeah, 24. Wow. My third time on the show. It was 24. We got into a 1v1. I made some. It basically just turned into a roasting match, because I only knew him at that point that he was somebody who had been cheerleading Based Oracle till he burned bridges with them.
Yeah.
Like, he got on, I guess.
Yeah, I remember that.
I only knew him because I saw his name keep coming up as somebody who was like really closely acquainted with like Flow State and Based Oracle and some other people around then. So I knew him by association with people. And I knew he was one of those people, much like Based Oracle, who was talking a whole lot of shit about Andrew. That wasn't true. And he was parroting it then.
Yeah.
And he was also one of those people who, after the Based Oracle debate happened, was making this apology tour to all these to a bunch of people, trying to be like, hey, I didn't really mean it. Based Oracle's an idiot. I never said no bad word about Andrew Wilson. Like, trying to get an apology, like, beating and be accepted again. So, but aside from that, that was part of his arc. But so because of the Andrew thing, me and his 1v1 basically degenerated into a roast off very quickly. And my son was walking out of his room, like you couldn't see him on camera at all. So right. Differently then, but he gets a drink out of the fridge, like he takes a sip, and then he like hears me insulting GS, and he like has to cover his mouth, and he's like and right. So then GS hears that, so generally hears that, and he tries to spin it on me, thinking he's going to like suddenly flip the whole debate and be like, oh, did you just fart on camera? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, nah, my son laughed at you because he thinks you're a fucking jackass.
Yeah.
And so then from that point, he starts directing insults at my son. He was actually given a warning for it to stop. And then he said some stuff that was so disgusting that's in there that I'm not going to repeat it. But that's what got him booted.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing, because I looked at that, and I could easily see who was right and wrong. And I felt like most people should have been able to. And and I really didn't I didn't really care about Based Oracle. I didn't care about GS. And I still don't, right? Like, I have nothing against GS. GS can come on the channel. I was a little hesitant about letting him up. I didn't. But if I know that there's like a potential for friction, right? Like, if, for example, I asked you if you had anything against Glenn because Glenn's here. Glenn usually comes up. I don't think you do.
Nope.
But
I got nothing against
I
him
don't think that
personally.
I don't think that you had and I know that there's some friction between still for whatever reason between Easy and Glenn.
I mean, I ribbed on Glenn a little bit on
Yeah.
a couple of occasions, but it was just for the point of making fun of the situation more than anything.
Sure. and I think that I think my take on it is something that like you and Glenn could easily just like, who cares?
Yeah.
But it's weird, and I got to put my serious hat on for a moment. Stand by.
Dun, 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 dun,
Well, it's unfortunate, but some people can't let shit go on the internet. The internet is where I come to hang out with a bunch of people, say a bunch of stupid shit. Some of it I hope is useful, and then I go away. And I don't, it's like Speakeasy said some kind of shitty things to me. I don't care, like if he wants to have a real discussion, if he has a real problem with me, we can have a real discussion about whatever problem he has with me. There are some people like Based Oracle that we could never have that conversation because he's an idiot, and his channel's gone. What a shocker that is!
Wait, he got rid of his whole channel now?
Either he nuked it or he did. I heard that he did some weird shit and got it nuked. I don't know. I don't care. But the point is I could never. The things that Bo did, unforgivable. Right? Like there's just nothing. There's no going back. Like we are not going to be friends. Like Flow State and I didn't like Flow State that much. So. And mainly because I thought his channel was boring and he came in trying to start drama all the time. And I was like, it's dumb. Now Flow State and I, we're buds. We hang out. It's cool. Part of that's due to Glenn because I was like, I don't even want to give. It's not that I have anything against him. It's just I don't want to waste the time.
Yeah.
That worked out, right? Glenn helped me out there. Glenn was right about that. So it's a very interesting thing on the internet, how people get so pissed off at people they've never met, and even if they did meet, they probably like each other in person. And I just find it very funny. I think it's hilarious. Now it's like most of the people I don't like on the internet or I just don't get along with, I would not like that person in person. Yeah, there's no way the Furby and I could sit down and have a conversation in person. Like, first of all, I'd leave. So there's that. But so that's.
See, I'm the kind of like, even if it's somebody like I genuinely like would disagree with when we're talking about actual like issues, like I'm still the type of person that it's like, even if like if I had a common interest in like of something like with Furby, like say we both liked like the same game or something, like I'd send some memes back and forth, be like cordial with people that. Because it's like we got common interests. I like talking about stuff I like with other people. I'll talk about stuff I like with people I hate all day.
Yeah.
So y'all were talking about generally specific, Greg, and you specifically mentioned that you didn't understand the whole Fed thing and what was his deal. And I've spent some time trying to watch his channel and figure out what his deal is because there's been a bunch of people that talked about that. And I don't comment on there because he's kind of weird, but like the other day he was watching a panel that he was on. His show was him watching him on a panel, and basically he was trying to, like, I don't know if it was cope or what, but his entire stream was commenting on him commenting on things, and none of his commentary was grounded in the reality of the conversation that was being shown.
Yeah, I think I caught part of it. Somebody sent that to me. Maybe it was you. Maybe you sent it to me, you dick. And I went over there and watched it for like 10 minutes. I was like, this is the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. Arakar Oak, what is the drama with Speakeasy? Well, there isn't really any on my end. Speakeasy has come in a few times and had a problem with who I had up on the panel or whatever, but it's nothing big. It doesn't matter. It's all who cares stuff.
It's under the damn bridge is where it is. Where it
yeah, it's so far under the bridge it didn't matter. So, but since you ask, I'll tell you. It's no drama with me. I don't give a shit.
Maybe I have a different perspective on sometimes than other people with when it comes to like all that kind of shit, because like my son is almost 16 years old, and I've had to spend over a decade of that having to work together and behave with somebody I was not always inclined to get along with.
Sure. Yeah.
But I've had to spend the last 10 years being like, well, regardless of her and I's relationship, I got to be a fucking adult.
Yeah. I mean, I see both sides of it, right? Like I see where people can have real disagreements online and just not like each other, and they just kind of stay apart, and that's it.
Yeah, like this, I totally get where like there are definitely times when like personal thresholds get crossed, no matter what. Like that's why I said like for somebody to say like for especially like the perverted shit that he was saying about my son to try to get under my skin. GS can apologize to me till the cows come home. I'm going to tell him to take the apology and shove it up his ass, and he's dead to me. And I'll never collaborate with him by choice in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's I don't know. I don't understand GS. So I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I just don't care. I'm kind of with Anthony. The whole thing confuses me. It's like weird.
Well,
no, it really wasn't a debate disagreement. Speakeasy has I don't know. He like there are certain people he just does not like on the around anywhere, and we had I forget who was here, and Speakeasy came in and he was like, I can't be on a channel or something like that, and whatever. And there are guys that go after him and talk shit about him, and I get it. He's sensitive, that's fine.
Was it that Resto guy?
No, it was Imperius, actually. Imperius was up, and he had some weird, stupid-ass name like he normally does. And
I think Resto was in the chat doing stuff or something.
Resto was here one day, and Speakeasy came in and was like, "I can't be on any channel."
Yeah, that's oil and water. That's oil and water.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like Resto. I went after Resto pretty hardcore.
A lot of people don't know more, is my understanding. So you're not.
I don't care one way or the other. I don't particularly like him. I don't have a problem with him. If we're on a panel, I can be cordial. It's fine. But I don't care one way or the other. I guess that's what it is. That's my thing. Yeah, it's just drama. It's stupid drama too.
See, I kind of go by like how it was that my grandmother always taught me, Grid, which is like I could give a fuck less what other people say about most people that I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to judge that person by how they treat me and not what anybody else says about them. Like people can be, in most cases, people can be cool with me pretty easily till you give me a reason I ought not to be cool with you.
Yeah. So, but anyway, look, I kind of get it, like if I came into a panel or came onto a channel and there was a dude up on stage talking about me in a non-flattering way, I'd probably be a little aggravated. But the thing is we never talk. I mean, this is the most I've talked about Speakeasy on this channel right here with you right now. So, and I wouldn't do it if it was not you. I wouldn't do it because there's just no point in it.
Well, and I can say from like from my personal experience at the time, like even at when you, because I remember those panels where it got kind of abrasive between the two of you, but prior to that, like there was no actual like hard, like no kind of like angry feelings towards you, like on his side, like no, like not certainly not like it was with him and Glenn, where it's like he had a sincere beef with him for multiple reasons.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why that is. I still tell Glenn that that he needs to sit down, and those two need to squash that shit because they both have the same kind of viewpoints, and they just need to get rid of it. But hey, man, they're adult men; they can do whatever the fuck they want. I'm not gonna get in the middle of it. So, whatever. But
yeah, it's I like I said, I totally get that it's like there are personal lines with some people that are very, very different. Like sure. I get like obviously like I am gonna be pretty hateful towards somebody who attacks my son to my face to get under my skin. So like if somebody else has a problem with somebody for that reason, I totally get it. I'm like, perfectly valid reason to be like, I won't do like business with this person either if you wouldn't want to be like socially friends with them for that same reason either. I get it.
Yeah, it's all good to me, man. Like I don't care. Now there are some things that I feel like that you can't. If you're going to talk shit about somebody, you need to know where to draw the line, right?
Yeah.
Like if I
and you should know that what you're saying is true too. Like that's a thing.
Even if it's true, right?
Yeah.
Like let's just say that I knew that your ex-wife was a crack addict and left your kid in the mall, and you had to have the kid had to call the cops, who had to call you to come get the kid from jail, and let's say I knew that and all of that was true. I would never fucking say that out loud.
Yeah, because it's not relevant.
I don't care how pissed off you made me. I don't care. You would have to really cross some fucking lines for me to come out with that knowledge, right? Yeah. And that's just me. Other people can do whatever the fuck they want. That's just me.
See, I think that's why when I'm actually trying to get into like a topic like 1v1 with somebody, like I try to be a lot more dissecting when I have the time to do it, because I'm like, okay, before I start pushing in the direction, like I'm not going to make an assumption here. Like I want everything clarified, and that's why it's like I'm not. Like if it's somebody I've never had any interactions with and I don't know anything about them, they could be perfectly respectable to me, but like other people could have had bad interactions with them. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I just think that I have what I consider personal standards of how far I'm going to sink in life.
Yeah.
And now, at the same time, I say that, but at the same time, if you were to, I would never say it public, but I'd call you out to your face. You know what I'm saying? Like privately, I'd be like, hey, I know that what a piece of shit your ex is and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. So whatever.
That's the other thing is like, there is a lot of shit that like people turn into stuff for public consumption that should have just been solved privately, and probably could have been solved privately fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
And instead it becomes like a public beef. And at that point it's like even if like you're like, depending on what people are trying to do with your channels, I'm like, what, like that could also just be bad for business at that point.
Well, that's actually one of the reasons why I really don't allow a ton of drama on this channel, is because, and I'm actually even trying to clean up the language to a little bit, because, midterm elections are coming up, and I want to shill for the PACs, man. I need to get I don't want to get paid a couple $100 a show super chats. I want I want 200 grand for 10 shows or some shit. You know, like
I know, right?
I mean, let's just be
Elon
let's
Musk
be
and
realistic.
Doge are gonna clean up all that fun money.
Yeah, somebody's got it. Somebody's got to pay me to do it. And right?
Look, we all know. Speaking of like events that are upcoming, Grid, we all know that next weekend on Sunday, one of two things will happen. I'm going to start dropping a lot of my best one-liners, and Alex Stein is either going to be laughing his ass off or he's going to run screaming out of the building, driven absolutely insane.
You know, I gotta be honest with you. I can't take a bet either direction.
Too close to call.
Too close to call, bro. We can't even switch to guns on that one. Let me stand by. We've got this fucking thing is just driving me crazy. The political landscape I separate from the logic and debate stuff. Yeah, politics are just stupid anyway. I love arguing them though. Flow State, I sent you the link, you lazy bastard. Check Discord. 200K from Destiny's pack, but you have to suck some gremlin. No. No.
I mean, it depends how devoted you are to your channel, Grid.
Yeah.
See, and there's
not that much. Not that much. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You know, this is kind of sad. It's kind of sad, Grid. Like your text to speech program is just idling up there in the corner. Like people really need to send you some cash.
I know. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the text to speech is broken, but it could just be bugged, boys. We haven't had a TTS in a while.
No, I hear that.
And even if it doesn't go TTS, we have Arthrodaya here.
We'll be happy to.
That's the program I'm talking about. Like our program is idling. People need to send more money so the program goes to work.
Oh wait, Arthrodaya has to read it, so I'm gonna put some stuff in there if she's got to read it.
That's pretty
I
funny.
have to read all of the super chats.
Progressive victory is a blue dildo.
Wanted to
That's
hear
hilarious.
come out of my mouth. Now's your chance, boys.
Progressive victory is a blue dildo. That is fucking hilarious.
And true.
Also true. Right. Yeah, it's good stuff. Holy crap, it's Flow State.
Holy shit.
What is up?
I was listening to you on my phone, Miss Flo. Here's you go. I sent you a link. Check your Discord, you lazy bastard. She's like, I like Grid.
Hey, I made your wife a mod. That's awesome.
That might have something to do with why she thinks your jokes are funny.
Thinks I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's one of many reasons that wives find me cool.
But here's what's really cool. You ever had peach knee high?
Nope.
Oh my god.
When I was like 8, I think, maybe 9.
I mean, I've been knee high in peaches before.
Wait, where do you even find those? What time traveling device are you using to go back to yesteryear to get that shit?
Where did you go? The hood. You just need to go to the hood.
To the hood?
Mhm. Yeah, if you go to a ghetto gas station, beside the Faygo and all the other trash pop, a lot of the hood gas stations have it.
Okay.
There's one place in my state.
How many times have you been mugged buying peach knee high?
It's worth the risk.
New Hampshire. Okay, so New Hampshire must be an anomaly because there's like only one place in New Hampshire that sells Faygo, to my knowledge, and it's not in the hood; it's on the beach.
That actually kind of makes
total sense. Actually, that makes total sense. That's the only place I could even conceive of drinking a Faygo.
And here's the thing: it's not even sold in a convenience store on the beach. It's sold in a record store on the beach.
A record store?
Makes even more sense.
Because they figure juggalos will be more inclined to go in a music shop than a convenience store on the beach.
So what are you sassing on tonight? You were sassy as shit earlier.
We weren't really sassy, man. We were just,
You were
I'm still
sassy
pretty
as
highly
fuck.
energetic. Actually, so you missed out. Hold on, you missed out the Thursday show of Sarah. I was really shocked you weren't there.
I showed up late.
The Furby came up and made the entire show all about the Furby.
The Furby is a good dissuasive figure for me. I don't enjoy shit with the Furby. We just end up locking horns and not budging.
Well, that reminds me of the time that the Furby was growing up in a group home flow state, and it was really traumatic for the Furby, and the Furby couldn't cope with it, and the Furby needed lots of therapy.
Yeah. Some people break under pressure and others rise to the occasion, and we know which one that was.
Well, in that case, it bent. Some people rise, some people break, some people bend over and take it from behind.
I think it's pretty broken. I consider that a full break.
Well, I got Wally again. I got Wally so bad the other night, he was about to cry on camera. He was laughing so hard.
I love how some of us, it feels like, you know what it feels like in like the past like month? It feels like Trump got inaugurated and then a bunch of us on the right all decided that dirty humor's back on the menu in 25. And I
never took it off the menu.
I am here for it.
He signed an executive order making it okay to call each other the F slur again, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you see, Grid, I hang around. I primarily hang around a community during the week where a lot of my jokes based on my single dad experiences would be considered off color.
Literally all of my jokes are considered off color, and I don't hang around with anyone worth talking to. So fucking Silver Ogre, don't say Furby came up. That sentence is too degen.
Even for me.
That's a lot of win. That's a lot of win. So I think that there's something about me talking about the Furby that makes Arthur Daya stop talking.
Why would that be?
Why would that be? Well, she did try and correct me earlier to say she when I said he, and I said no, I meant to say what I said.
See, I ain't even a stickler on that stuff. Unless somebody like tries to insist that I say it a certain way, then I will be a stickler. But
yeah.
But I'm really not a stickler on that stuff.
I am generally not too much, but the Furby has lost all privileges.
Right.
No, I actually argued with the Furby about gender affirming care on Sarah's channel one evening.
No, you should. That would be great. Because, you're a doctor and stuff.
Did you say you did or you would?
I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did I miss this?
It was several weeks ago now, but yeah.
Well, say more.
See, this is why I always say just Mel or Furby, because for some reason I feel better going above and beyond to use no pronouns in referring to Furby at all.
It's not that you're using the right pronoun, you're just not using any pronouns.
Yeah.
No, he's a him. He needs to
That's
be called
legit.
him.
I mean,
That's
if you want a
legit.
non-gendered pronoun for a singular object, it's it.
It.
And that's just proper grammar.
Yes, we should all be proper. Very proper. So what's been up with you, Flo? I haven't been able to catch any of your shows. What the fuck are you doing starting so damn late for? What's up with you, man?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I'm probably going to do it again tonight, even though it's driving me nuts.
It actually doesn't bother me that much. It's just every now and again I'll catch a snippet, and I'm like, damn, that'd be a good show to be a part of.
Yeah, I need to move it earlier, but like the last few nights, just sort of like tonight, I don't really have a topic. Nothing too exciting has gone on lately, so
you're waiting for a topic to magically appear.
I've got a few things on the side burner, but nothing's too pressing. If I have something like pressing or big, then I try to move it earlier. But
you should find someone. You should find someone to debate if communists are even human. Silvar Ogre states that communists are not. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. There it is. Communists are not human.
Sure they are. They're just envious, pocket watching humans.
I think he was talking about a coomer, like.
Oh, a coomer. Okay, communist. Okay.
Yeah, communist.
Well, shit, that might apply to me. What's a communist?
I can't do this topic. I feel threatened. I feel personally attacked.
Well, it's like that was actually something I had said to Eternal a couple of weeks ago, Grid, was I told her, I said, just think of it this way. You can never be hated more than people hate Furby, so things can always get better.
That's true. And she's an actual thought.
She won Vixen of the Year.
She's actually very nice when I talk to her.
Yeah, I like.
It's because you're Eternal. A single dad. You literally have $signs printed upon your forehead that only she can see. As I hear Anson, and
we can all see that she can see them, right? We all know the invisible ink's there.
Wait, what was I gonna say? Shit. I did actually say to people, I'm like, this was a while back, like back in January, I disappeared from a panel full of people, and she was actually the only person who actually sent me a message being like, hey, were you all right? I was passed out drunk, but at least somebody thought.
I remember that.
But she was the only person who actually DM'd me directly herself and was like,
I watched you stumble off in the direction of a bedroom. I'm betting you didn't make it to a bedroom. I bet you went down on a couch somewhere.
I feel like I made it into my bedroom because the couch is over there.
Okay.
So I was in the complete wrong direction of any other soft landing space. So I had committed to the route. Like I knew where I was intending to land, and I think I made it.
Solid.
But
she's nice. I like her too.
Yeah, that's why I say it's funny that's why I just found it funny that it's
Wally, hook it up, man. Let's get her on the show. Does she do night shows?
Depends on the night, depends on what she's got going on, but because she's 16 hours ahead of us.
Oh yeah, it's never gonna work out between you guys.
Yeah,
she's in Australia land.
Yep. She was on that was the longest she was even able to stay on VK yesterday, and actually was had time to hang out backstage in case she got a revive, was because it was it was 9 a.m. there for her at the time.
I get a lot of Aussies on the show, so yeah. So you can do the daytime show sometime.
Yeah, some of these dudes in the chat need to quit running off the chicks.
What?
Keep what?
What? Now you're talking about me.
Okay. Well, if the shoe fits, wear it.
Well, Grid, did you catch before you came up yesterday? Did you catch British Dave there, rage quitting because she came up on the panel?
No, man. I literally my day yesterday was my day yesterday. I went and I was doing some work on an airplane, and I got home and I just chilled for a little while, took a shower, came out here to be on the show. To get ready for my nighttime show last night, and I was like, "Oh, VK! Well, this is cool. I'll get to hang on VK. That's awesome." And like I said, the guy couldn't get in the house, so he messed up the electronic lock. I had to drive an hour and a half there, fuck around with the lock, hang out till he got done with dinner, fuck around, and then I had to fuck off back here, and it was a lot of traffic, so it was like, that was a 2-hour drive back.
Yeah, so she came on, and Dave immediately started like spurging off a bunch of stuff that was increasingly incoherently British, to the point I didn't know what he was saying at all anymore. And like the translator in my brain for speaking British is usually pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I just had to make the comment at him in chat. I'm like, Dave, no matter how you try to cope about this, you ran away from a woman, bro.
Yeah.
All right, $5. $5. The low price of $5. This is coming out of my mouth. I'm going to slide into Anson's DMs after this. I can't control myself anymore.
Well, Flo feels like this is actually his show. He's looking around to make sure what time it is.
Congratulations, Anson.
Well, in the meantime, Arthur Daya, please contain yourself from such explicit outbursts.
I believe, Arthur Daya, that is proper simping for a man. So,
what are you going to do when you get in there, Arthur Daya?
You'll have to pay me $5 to find out.
I just tee the ball up. I don't hit it.
Only $5? That's a $20 hauler all day.
Look, if you're charging him $5 just for a look at the menu, that better be a pretty damn good menu.
That's solid. That's solid. I see what you did there. He's been to Vegas. He knows what the menu is.
Since I'm reading TTS's, $5 is anything you want to come out of my mouth.
That's true.
Anything?
Cash App is
inward.
We also take Cash App.
I have to remind everyone that Flow State is remonetized. So,
only on the powdered dusty. The Flow State got declined.
Really? Oh,
yep.
Sucks.
They're like, what'd they say? Said you're an asshole.
Hey, is it? Are you the reason Based Oracle's channel got nuked? Did you do that?
I think he nuked himself.
You think he nuked himself?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I haven't talked to him, but I think he nuked himself.
I'm curious as to what the bizarre shit you were mentioning was, Grid, but I also don't want to know at the same time.
The Harikari, did he Harikari his own channel?
I believe so. I haven't heard anything different.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
right, what was the bizarre
harmful or hateful content is why I can't be monetized at this time.
Harmful
or hateful.
I'm going to be honest. The way you smacked Based Oracle around the last debate, that might have done you in, bro.
Next time, be kinder to women.
Oh, I am kind to women. I'm mean to men. I'm way kind to women.
Yeah,
relatively.
Flow State's channel. I mean, he's got tons of women in his chat that I'm always saying appropriate things to. So yeah, he's got
appropriate things. Wait, did you just say you say appropriate things?
Did I misspeak? I'm sorry.
Huh. Yeah, Anson's always appropriate.
Anson tries to be creepy, and Imperius tries to be creepy too. I have a low threshold for creepy shit.
Yeah.
Because I want girls around more than I want creepy dudes around.
That's an interesting thing because I actually have that same sort of deal. Like I would rather have a bunch of I would rather have a bunch of women trying to understand how to, hang out with men better than have a bunch of men talking shit all day long about, their ball sacks and stuff.
Right.
The problem is that women are gross, man. They're like, they talk all kinds of weird shit and they're just like.
Anson's a lot better about it than Imperius. Anson knows where the line is and doesn't really.
True.
Yeah, cross it.
True.
Imperius almost always insists on getting himself blocked.
Yeah.
But that's kind of when he crashes out.
Imperius hasn't actually crashed out on my channel. I don't know. I don't know why, because he's come close a couple of times, where he'll get wound up, and I'll be like, dude, you got to calm down. So.
Well, see, Flow State, the whole reason why I get on chats and on panels is because I'm trying to figure out how to make jokes. That's like 90% of the reason why I'm in chats is to write jokes, because I just love writing jokes.
Do you do stand up or anything?
You
No,
have a fan.
I don't do stand up. I just write.
Mm.
I can understand that. My father was not a very funny man. The only joke he ever figured out involved having sex with my mom.
and that created you. And look what a joke that turned out to be.
Yeah, so I said that's the only joke he knew how to create.
ZD Den says, that's funny. I'd rather have a night with Imperius and Anson than a bunch of girls.
It's because you're gay.
No, ZD Den's that's a chick.
Oh, okay. Well, that's because it's great.
That'd be the opposite of gay.
and having a night with me and Imperius is a double three-way. I don't do that.
ZD Den says, I like to laugh and girls aren't funny.
I mean, that is true. Girls aren't really funny.
Yeah. But girls are bad TV. I didn't say I want girls up on the stage. I want girls in the audience. That's it's a different thing. Although you are fine, Arthur Dye. You're doing a great job tonight.
Thank you.
He's just being nice.
You haven't really been a good feminist tonight. I haven't been able to trigger you at all.
Topics.
Now, what do you mean?
It's too late to trigger you now. I've got 3 minutes left in the show. I mean,
what do you mean? Of course, she's been a good feminist all night. She's been practicing women reading.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
If she wasn't being a feminist, she'd be pretending she can't read, don't you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Arthur, she don't really have to practice being feminism. I mean, she's the logical conclusion of feminism.
Right. I just live it.
Yeah.
Live it. All right. All right.
That's what I said. I'm the beneficiary of feminism.
I always thought Red Pill was the beneficiary of feminism, but I could be wrong about that.
Yes. What would the two do without each other? They'd cease to exist, and then we'd all just have to get along. Or squabble like always, but
well, Red Pill.
I've heard it both ways.
Greg, can you check if Silvar Ogre's last Cash App dono got through?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
With it that we needed to read.
Yeah, stand by. Cash App's. I apologize. Cash App does not alert me.
Because your notifications are off.
Yeah, I know.
Just helping you out.
It does. I just said it doesn't alert me, and I was about to say because I leave the notifications off.
Wasn't trying to put you on blast, but I wasn't opposed to it.
I can't say this.
Why do you think it's in a Cash App?
I'm gonna put this in the private for Arthur Dye to say.
No, what am I saying?
I don't know. I might be missing part of the
Vengeful Truther. I literally had sex right before coming on here.
Man, that's awesome.
Well, if
that's why you look so relaxed.
Well, wait, Flo, if you were having sex before, why were you coming on here?
It wasn't done yet.
I noticed my error, but tried to just move right on past it, but I didn't get
Nah, you ain't walking past that with me. Sorry. I have a brain for filthy degen humor that's never left, and it'll never die.
You catch all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you seen Animated Effigy, Flow State? Have you run into that fellow?
Yes. Yeah. I know I have, and I know the name. I'm just having trouble placing it. Why?
Yeah, he has the GIF profile that always changes, like the flaming guy.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, I know. Yep.
I messed that up.
Go
Stand
on.
by, Arthur Die. I don't know what I did there. I must have like erased something.
So
there we go. There you go, Arthur Die. You can read that.
All right, coming in from Silvar Ogre. Do these count for tits to talk? I mean, text to speech.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Bravo.
Bravo.
So why'd you ask me about
$10 in from Silvar Ogre via Cash App. Solid work, my friend. Solid work. All right.
Why'd you ask me about what's his name?
It's weird because occasionally he and I will agree on something, and he can. But for the most part, I was just kind of curious about what you thought about his debate style, because generically, I think he starts off pretty intelligent, and then the first challenge you really give him, he just degenerates into, but what about you? And starts yelling louder.
I haven't seen him get there.
Oh, you missed out. Wally had him, and who was his partner? Was it Terry?
Or was it Corinth? I forget.
Corinth, yes. Corinth would have lost anyway, but he at least more or less stayed calm. He also lost his shit. But holy fuck, Animated Effigy lost his shit hardcore. Like, it was so cool to watch. I was having a great time.
Yeah, I haven't seen him lose his shit. He's normally pretty intelligent, although I don't always agree with him.
Yeah. I had that same opinion.
When the last time me and him had a 1v1 on the immigration, he started going off the rails by the end.
It's interesting because I feel like that it was actually probably because he almost lost somewhere and only pulled it out. Maybe the Cash App assassin or something helped him. And then I don't know why he lost it there so bad.
Yeah, because he Stepfire won his first one last night too.
Yeah, so I haven't seen Stepfire on in a while. He doesn't come on here much anymore. He must be working a different shift or something.
Yeah, like I think some of them have had like either some of them are on some people are on different schedules now. Again. Some people are on like different workloads than they used to be that have gone up. Like I know Blackout's been mad busy. What he was telling me.
Oh, have you figured out who the assassin is?
I believe when I was on the after party stream this morning, there was a decent sized room of us in there, Grid, and I got to say, one of us in there, I am fairly confident was an assassin.
There we go. All right. I'm going to re-trigger this TTS. Give me 1 second, guys.
I'm being replaced again.
Aw. No words. Because it's $9.99. For some reason.
$9.99 coming in from Metro Matt. I believe this is directed to Grid. What's the over-under you go on whatever?
I haven't been able to get on there because I am very busy. This Sunday night, maybe, but we'll see. I'm gonna I'm gonna see if this is. I'm gonna retrigger the Clover Tack one. So let me see if it's working. Androidia. That's funny.
Clover Tack donated $10. Super chat.
Oh yeah.
Bring up IMP already.
I like this one. I like that one. I like that one. That's Emma, by the way.
I do like this comment from the Vengeful Truthful. You should call your grift time the unreasonable grift.
I should.
That's good.
Should we call the bot version Androidia? That's pretty good.
Androidia.
I liked Arthrodia.
Yeah, there we go. I'm there with it. All right. Yeah, guys, get those super chats in. We're about to have to call it a night. I'm going to go to bed. And I'm actually not going to even go around and hunt for another panel to hang out on. I'm actually...
Ninja, I got you.
You have said this before, like those exact words, Grid. You've said them before. And
I know. Well, so what it really depends on is if my wife watches these Chinese soap operas. I don't speak Chinese, so I don't watch them. And I'll just if I go and what'll happen is I'll like just kind of see what's going on, and if she's doing the soap opera thing, I'll hang out here because I don't speak Chinese, and they're really boring, like so bad. Anyway, you said you got me. What have we got?
Oh, I'm going live in 15. 10.
In 15? Yeah, we can hang out for another 15 minutes, and we'll shoot everybody over there.
In 8.
How did you like that? How did you like that? Oh, we got some memberships getting gifted. Hell yeah! Hells yeah! Did you how do you like that raid the other night? Got you like
man, that was a hell of a raid.
Yeah. So what happened is Andrew raided me at like 10 o'clock. And we were here for an hour, and I'm like, okay, it's 11 o'clock. I got to go. So off to you they went. Hopefully you weren't too degenerate.
Yeah, I rolled with that basically the whole night.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. That's awesome.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, man, there's no problem at all. No problem at all. I've got to call Andrew, dude. I'm such a dickhead sometimes. I'm kind of helping Andrew out with something, and I keep like every day I'm like, yeah, I need to call Andrew, but I know kind of when he's busy, and it's just like they're narrow windows where I can get a call in. So I always miss them. I'm such a dick.
He's been streaming quite a bit lately.
I know. Well, that's the easiest way. I just pull it up, and there he is. I'm like, yeah, can't call him now.
There was one more funny troll thing I pulled on the other morning, Grid. I don't know if you saw it last night, but someone...
Did you say sore? You saw it last night?
Saw.
He's from Boston.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how to talk so good.
Yeah, Kieran just made a running gag of spending $21 at a time or whatever it was to like mute, or like 50 to like mute me for 21 minutes at a time.
That's funny.
And so the first time he does it, I just sit back here for 20 minutes talking shit with my whiteboard because I'm not breaking any rules.
Now I'll have to stay on for at least 30 or 45 minutes because the tomato just raided me.
Tits.
I know there are tits everywhere now.
Right. It's probably dudes. If it was
Anson Knowles, there are more tits. You should feel happy.
I don't want to upset Arthur Dia. We've got a thing going on here.
I know you guys are.
really
So
good
the
together.
question is, are you both going to sleep with your ex-wife, or what's up with that?
No.
Anson,
haven't
you've
even
been
seen her,
shut
have you?
down. Yeah, okay. I just thought I'd ask.
It's a fair question, Grid. Yep.
I know.
The problem
One
is that
has
you
to-
suggested it, right? Like the dude can't ever suggest the other chick.
Right. No. Mm-mm. Yeah, that's
You got to let Arthur Diet choose her out.
He just creeps over there like a stray cat. I can't control him.
he's more like gum on your shoe. You kind of know that he's there, but you don't know that he's really there. Oh, I forgot my sunglasses. Flo is on the panel. Where are my sunglasses?
Sarah, welcome.
Sunglasses at night, so
What is up, Sarah? How are you?
I'm good. We closed down ladies' night.
Yeah, cool. Very
Ladies'
cool.
night.
How was ladies' night?
It's fun. We had a good time.
We've had a great time over here shit talking.
Did you guys have like guys' night over here, and then we had girls' night?
No, Arthur
Yeah,
Dye is
basically.
right next to you.
Oh,
I would like to point out I've probably grifted more money being up here than all the other white male bearded men panels you've run lately.
white bearded men panels.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't grip
Are you
shit.
gonna take that?
Yes.
I mean, it's money in the bank, so
Fair enough.
I'm not going to argue.
The deal is, to
I
all
have-
those Sarah's-
Arthur Dye, I reject the premise of your statement because Grid is clean shaven. It's not logically consistent to the argument.
Also, no boobs were shown.
L.
Yeah, she
Actually,
refused
no,
to show up.
Anson had boob emojis up there.
He did.
L.
No boobs were shown. You didn't even cam up one time, Arthur.
No boobs were harmed
Not
in the
even
making
one.
of this video.
Yeah, no boobs were. no.
Girls aren't funny, Grid. That wasn't funny.
That wasn't Grid. Don't push it too hard.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Do better, Sarah.
I am everywhere. I am inside each and every single one of you. You just look in, and I will be there. Waving out at you. Naked. Wearing only a cock ring.
I'll be there. I'll be there with my cock ring. Call my name. And I'll be there.
Well, it is a shit talking night, ladies and gentlemen. Sarah, you've not had time to talk shit.
Who are we
The
talking
floor
shit
is
about?
yours.
Who are we talking shit about?
Whoever you want.
Whoever you want, whatever you want. The DMV.
But you have to talk
Wally.
shit.
Wally's right there. He's a good.
Wally
fair
was
target.
very nice. He popped on panel the other night.
He's.
If I could have gotten a word in
large
edgewise with while Furby was talking, I would have said goodbye properly. That's why I left. I just left a note. I'm like, I gotta go.
We happily accept
that's
Irish
right.
exits on that panel, especially because our panels usually get pretty lit like that anyway. So
where
we
is
gladly.
I try to not do it my first time up, so then I don't feel like a dick every other time afterwards that I have to.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, I'm not a shit talker really. It's not my.
No, that's okay. We'll make up for it. So, Arakar Oak, where is that dude who was losing his mind to debate me on a channel where I don't debate on? Like, I was even like, we could do it on any other channel. And then finally I was like, hey, come on up. And apparently he couldn't figure out how to click the damn link.
Why did your voice get really squeaky?
Mine? Oh, I need it.
Mine. He's like,
it was awesome though. Where is it? I just saw it.
So I just opened the box of this. This is either going to be really good or really terrible.
Why, guys? What's with you?
Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
Can't you just go down, look in the aisle, grab a Monster? They make a lot of different colors. Don't be racist. and just drink that. What is wrong with it? Wait, grape knee high, peach knee high, Dr. Pepper blackberry.
It needs, you know what? It needs booze. That's my only criticism
there
of
you
the
go.
soda. It needs booze.
Apparently, Mikey Balls agrees with you. He says Dr. Pepper needs to be mixed with booze.
You know,
anything mixed with booze is significantly
drink.
better.
You know, I was actually thinking of that the other week. I was thinking, what if I could do like what they do with you know how they make like the alcohol versions of like Monster Energy and shit and like Mountain Dew? Yeah, so you can go to a store, you can get like similar to like Twisted Tea, but they're Mountain Dew flavors with alcohol mixed in. So you can get like Baja Blast, that kind of shit.
Good an alcoholic are you to know that?
Not only are you getting a sugar rush, but then you're getting drunk with that's like a squirrel on crack.
No, there's no caffeine in them or anything.
I feel like
there's
there's
no sugar in
I
them.
think one of us on this panel is a professional alcoholic, and his name is Wally.
But my point of that being is, I was saying to one of my friends the other week, based off of a misprint, like in a text message, because my friend was drunk, it looked like the words got cut off and the text read Dr. Alcohol. And I said, what if I made alcohol Dr. Pepper and called it Dr. Alcohol?
Oh my.
You should. You make $1 million. So our car Oak, he says, I have no idea. Are you asking because I'm Mexican? I should know every Mexican? Why, yes, actually. That's exactly why I asked you that. I mean, that's what you guys do to me. You come over and say, hey, do you know John? And I'm like I know every white guy? What's up with that?
You know?
With a hat like that, we sort of expect you to.
Seriously.
I know, right?
How do you not?
And the hat, the jacket,
I thought
the
that's
whole
why
thing.
we were friends, Grid, because
I
you knew
don't-
all the
I'm-
white guys.
Okay. I know all the white guys.
You're like the final boss of white guys.
That's funny. That's funny. So ZD Den may also be drinking tonight. Dear Lord Grid. Is that like Lord Vader, but good?
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my
You just reminded, I'm assuming me, she means me, Jesse Waters, when you were talking about shopping for a monster. Thank you.
You know, I gotta say, I think C4 is way better than Monster.
I feel like having my pony pulled.
I got you.
Thank you. Like, you know what I
Especially
mean?
that they had that creamsicle one. That one was.
I'm sorry.
so good.
Wait. Did you just say you feel like you need your hair pulled?
Yeah, like when you get a good
That's what I
tug,
thought you said.
like a good tug, you know?
Right on the handlebar.
Yeah, like
Sarah, did my joke about my dating profile the other night stick with you that long?
what was the joke?
Where I was mentioning, I mentioned they had the app where it was like they have you write in the best part about dating me is, and I wrote, as a single dad, it's socially acceptable to call me daddy in public.
That's true. Ladies and gentlemen, we have taken a turn for the degenerate tonight. Brought to you by the Raging Tomato.
You're welcome.
She just turned it savage. I'm gonna go get Wally some aloe vera.
Oh, that's where we're going. That's where we're going.
Oh man. So
Lindsay Smith, you are welcome to come up on the panel. We'll just make it a party while we're here, I guess.
I feel like I'm what elicited that dramatic no.
We're on the extended time period now.
what were we trash talking earlier? Did you have any?
We talked about the Furby, making it all about the Furby on your panel. I talked about the moderator on the debate show that I was on, the Reverie, the other night, not only debating but also losing their shit completely.
What?
Oh, it's hilarious. You gotta go back and watch it on my. I'm sure that it's up on my channel, but because I was obviously restreaming it. But oh yeah, it went off on it. Like Elon wasn't even the debate topic. It was is going after the USAID? Is the Doge department? Is that a good thing? And
Mhm.
Trump and blah blah blah.
You know, I
And this
listened to Andrew's take on the Doge thing, and I liked his approach to it. I ended up talking to my dad about it too, and he was like, "Yeah, no, that actually makes really good sense." Like that.
What was Andrew's take?
So basically, Doge, because the lefties came in with all of the fear mongering concepts, right? So my understanding was that, like, they kept saying, "Well, what if they have the authority to do this and do that and do this and do that?" And Andrew's like, "But they don't. There's a reason why they don't. They don't have the authority to do that. So therefore, that won't happen. You don't have to worry about it." Or even more so, like, what if they accidentally push a button and mess up Social Security payments that are supposed to be paid? Well, could anybody do that? Wouldn't that fear be in anybody's hands? You know? And then there was a third one that was really good, and I forget what the fuck it was. The concept of, like, well, they're not elected officials into this position, like they weren't put into this position, whatever. But when I was talking to my dad, I was like, "But Dad, there's a lot of government agencies that hire contractors. Literally, that is a good chunk of the government agencies are government contractors who are citizens who come in, and they're, obviously they're vetted and so on and so forth, but they're brought in to, on contracts to do X, Y, and Z."
TTS. Let's see if Emma hits it.
Chip in Flint donated $20. Here's a bit for your grift. Supporting my friend Grid 1 because the government can't help but squeeze 1,000.
You went too long. We'll have to read it. Let me put it up on the screen.
I'm not hearing it one way or another. So.
You didn't hear it?
No,
I didn't hear
it. Didn't come through.
I don't hear
that's
the panel. Yeah.
Well, Grid, if I could hear
you
it,
can't hear it, but YouTube can.
We can't hear it on this.
Yeah,
side.
You're on the panel. Yeah.
That would be why I'm doing the Hulk Hogan every time.
Sorry. And I think it actually came in on Streamlabs, so I can't make it big. So I'm trying to
make it big.
I know, right?
Get your mind out of the gutter, Sarah.
Oh, it's been so far in the gutter for a very long time. There's no hope at this point. You should just accept the fact that my mind is always in the gutter, and do not try to raise the bar on me. I will keep it down low.
Praise
I
God.
respect
I would
that.
never do that to you.
I'm gonna go through this again. He says, "Here's a bit for your grift. Supporting my friend Grid 1 because the government can't help but squeeze $1,100 from my stellar week of hauling frac sand. Drill, baby, drill. Grind them till you find them, and roll those coals." Right, K2, because he's a truck driver. And yeah, absolutely. We, he had a banger. He was at the start of the show. He was talking about how he had a banger week, and he just got his check, and it was like going to be really good, and $1,100 worth of taxes taken out of it. So that's a nut punch for you, right?
That shit hurts.
Well, I don't know nut punches, but yeah, sure.
You've never in your life hit a dude in the nuts?
My brothers.
Oh, that's awful.
Well, they're meant. I mean, just my brother.
But I'm saying I don't know how that feels.
Oh, right.
If I knew how it felt, you would not be calling me Sarah.
That's true.
Well, you've never hit a woman in the balls, Sarah?
It's a feminine
I
penis.
still would not know how it feels.
Okay, well, I have a.
It's like
I
getting stabbed.
don't
in the
have a
stomach.
good analogy. I'm going to have to defer to the other gentleman on the stream.
Like getting stabbed in the stomach.
Up here. Furby would know. Furby's a woman.
You know what I think the best way to explain Doge to some of these stupid people might be, Grid, is just be like, imagine somebody who just walks into your kitchen, goes through the cabinets, and just says, "Here's some stuff I think you should throw out." That's basically all they're doing.
I like that. So my take on it is a little more nuanced, just because I've been debating this for like 2 fucking weeks now. And the number one, I think it's great that we have an actual team, not an agency, but a team of people answerable to the president to go through and try and figure out where all of this money is being spent, who, why do we have so many staff? Why do we have so many employees? I think that's a good thing. I don't think that there's any argument that anyone can give me for why that's a bad thing, right? That's just crazy that there is. And again, they can't take the money away. They can fire people, right? They can say this guy is, and the way that they fire people, by the way, is actually 100% legal, because if you are in a government job and you are found incompetent, what is it? It's IMN, incompetent, negligent, and I forget.
Messianic.
Negligent.
Huh? No, it's it refers again to competency, right? So it's not negligent, but it's it'll come to me in a second. But if they find you, I'm sorry.
That's what she said.
Oh yeah.
See, right away, Grid, the whole premise of this doesn't make sense, because I thought demonstrating incompetence was how you got government jobs in the first place.
Right. Well, see, now they flipped it. See, that's you missed the flip. And so when they can just go in and say, they look over your job and done. Like, you're done.
I think that's I think they're throwing a temper tantrum, right? Like, why would you be concerned about an agency coming in and auditing you if your shit's straight?
Because none of their shit is straight, Sarah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're throwing it. Like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. That would be, to me, it reminded me of like a 5-year-old who ate chocolate and mom is saying, did you eat the chocolate? And mom knows you ate the fucking chocolate. And you're like, well, no.
That guy over there. No, I don't know who ate the chocolate. You're the only one here. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to get a little bit peculiar on the Doge concept for a second and just speculate. What if this is just part of a bigger plan to ultimately create a precedent by auditing all these government departments to build up to what a lot of people on the right have really wanted to do, and that's audit the Fed?
So, yes, but also, there's a couple of things. First, the reason that the entire government is really concerned about this is, first of all, they didn't believe it was going to happen. Second, you have agencies like the Department of Education that we were just talking about earlier. They get they have an $800 billion budget every year.
That's never taught a kid to read.
They can't account for 10 billion or 8 billion of it. 10% of their budget they can't account for. They don't know what happened. They just, we don't know where we had the money. We don't know where the money is. Every year for like at least the last 8 to 10 years. So that's I mean, if I ran that agency, I wouldn't want somebody poking around my books either.
No, absolutely not.
And
also,
so
Elon Musk came into Twitter and fired 80% of the employees and managed to rebuild it into X, which has now had the stock consistently going up.
Right. Well, do you know what he found when he got there, Arthur?
People.
Well, a lot of people that were sitting there making up algorithms to, censor certain points of view that they didn't
like. He probably would have let those people stay because they were doing a job and could have been redirected. No, he found people that were getting paid to do nothing because they were there just in case they were needed. There was entire groups of people, teams of people whose entire job it was to like try and understand how to manipulate and post to push conservatives and other agendas aside and concentrate all the attention on the mainstream agenda. That's nuts. It's just crazy. The departments that he found in Twitter that didn't do anything, like literally did nothing, and got paid a lot of money to do nothing. And I remember back when he took over, there was all of these interviews going around and talking about they were trying to figure out how much money and everything was actually being sent out and where it was going. And there were tons and tons of people making videos and stuff about how they were losing their job at Twitter because Elon wanted them to do more than play ping pong all day. Go ahead and read this, Arthur Diane, or Sarah, either one. You guys, a voice.
It's up to her.
All right, $9.99 coming in from Wrongful Rage, who is now off the rag and raging. We haven't had a budget since Bush Jr. was in office first term. Let that sink in. We due for an audit and answers for missing or misallocated monies.
That is true, 100% true. And so I think you're right, Wally. I think that the idea is that Trump is trying to push this towards accountability and making agencies fear to have 300 people on their TOE when they only need 30, right? Like they're going to have to slim down these departments, and so I think it's really going to be. I think it's a good thing. As far as the they can push a button and delete this again. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. Andrew's right about that. Any idiot could. But they're not really doing that, right? Like they're not coming in and pushing buttons. They're coming in and demanding data.
It would be like reading a Word document in read-only manner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't change anything on there. All I can do is say, hey, just an F1, I found these grammatical errors, blah, blah, blah. You want to switch this, change that, yada, yada, yada. That's all they're doing is like reading and read only. And it's not that big of a deal. Like,
so I agree with that, Sarah. It's like Doge has been given unlimited access to Freedom of Information Act requests is all it is. Yeah. And from my perspective, I really like that they're doing some of the stuff they're doing and some changes are being done because it's, right-wing authoritarianism, and that's the only thing that can defeat left-wing authoritarianism. It's got to be destroyed through force and monarchy. So,
yeah.
Well, Grid, I think I'm about to just win us every Doge debate you and I ever participate in.
Yeah,
because I am going to present an argument so good for destroying and dismantling the Department of Education that I don't even have to say the argument.
If you can read this, hold on.
It is no thanks.
It is no thanks to the yes. You did that the other night. I remember that you were, or maybe it was yesterday during the day. I don't remember. It's starting.
I said, let's be real. No kid has ever learned to read because of the Department of Education. They've never taught one kid anything themselves.
The Department of Education thing is just a perfect example because I don't know anyone that likes the Department of Education. I don't know a single parent that thinks the Department of Education is competent at educating their child.
They actually piss me off more than anything.
Right. That's exactly what I hear from every mother with children in school that I've ever talked to is the Department of Education sucks. And they're not here to help you. They're not here to make your life easier and raise your kids and help you be they're not there to do anything that's beneficial to the children at all. And I've never heard a parent say, I really love my Department of Education. They are just wonderful people. I can't believe how great they are. Never have ever heard that. So very interesting. And that's just one agency, and I think that starting with USAID is the absolute perfect target because it's indefensible. There's no senator, no congressman, no public official wants to get up and say you shouldn't investigate U.S. aid because it's literally a CIA slush fund. Like again, I said, like a Robert Ludlum spy novel. You know, The Bourne Identity in real life. And this is where all their money comes from. This is where all they say that they spend $200 million throwing condoms out to kids in Africa. But what they're really doing is they go down there and they spend $200 million buying AK-47s and disseminating them to local war.
Yeah, they're still sending protection to Africa. Just the protection is like 50 caliber.
Right. Yeah. No, you got it. You're there with me. And so I think it's the best argument the best argument against Doge is that we shouldn't need it at all, because we have I think 3 or 4 watchdog agencies already that are supposed to review the budgets, review the expenditures, that are supposed to perform surprise inspections and do all of these things that never get fucking done. A surprise inspection is only a surprise when you get the phone call 6 months before it happens rather than a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think a lot of people, like even some people who are independent, but definitely people on the right, have been wanting to slowly more and more go after Department of Education for a very long time. Like, Grid, you might remember this because I do, but like back in the mid 90s, this was a big talking point when Ross Perot was campaigning for president. When he was asked about education reform, he said the first thing we need to do is return management of our schools to the local level. When we had locally managed public schools, we had the best schools in the world, and now we have all these oversight agencies who are telling these communities what they need instead of letting the people in these communities determine what they need.
That's accurate, man. That's honestly that's like hardcore, right? We did used to have the best schools, maybe not in the world, but pretty damn close.
But as far as like quality, like management, like the way they were being run before, like you had these big entities overseeing them, was much better.
Yeah, I thought we were ranked at like number 3 at one point or something like that.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like pre-World War II, I would say that we had pretty good schools. Right after World War II, I think we had really good schools. Somewhere about mid 50s, I think we went from like number 2 or 3 in the world down, because Europe had excellent schools at that time, right? Like England and all that. But we started slipping back in the mid 50s, and I don't think we just haven't caught back up. We just mainly because I agree with ZD Den. The Department of Education is more about appeasing the teachers union than anything else. So, Sarah, I saw you yawning. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm going to go to bed.
Go to bed.
But I'm so glad your stream went really well. It sounds like it was a fun one.
I think the shit talk Saturdays are like that. They're going to have to become a thing because everybody loves them. Yeah.
We need to pair up and do sip and stream / shit talk Saturday, and we'll just duel it.
Yeah, there you go.
Because it's more.
It works out pretty good because, like I go on these debate panels, and there's always something that is hilarious, but you can't talk about it during the debate, right? Like I can't talk about the Furby, making it all about the Furby while I'm sitting there talking, right? Well, I did kind of say something, but
you kind of could, and that becomes.
But I can say a little thing, but.
Now, Grid, just bringing that up, like once again, I got to bring it back to when I was in the group home and I was surrounded by drug addicts, and it was very traumatic.
I love you, Grid. Oh, Grid. By the way, I need a thumbnail picture from you. I was putting together the thumbnail from last Thursday and editing them, and I realized because you came on early on and you stuck with it to the end, so I wanted to put you on the thumbnail.
Oh, appreciate
so
that.
if you have one, can you shoot it over to me at some
That was
point?
actually really good. I triggered a lot of people in the first, which I didn't. I mean, I did intend to trigger everyone because, you know, I wanted all of the sides to be pissed off so that they would yell at each other and figure it out. And I think I accomplished that. I pissed off the degenerates. I pissed off the puritanicals. I pissed off everybody. It was a goal, you know.
I like it. It was actually a very calm conversation considering the prompt.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have any. When we're having a conversation, it's super easy just to kind of keep it light, but I can say really controversial things that just. And I was watching the chat. The temperature of the chat went like red hot there for a while. It was great.
I like it. Well, shoot me a thumbnail at your convenience so I can update it and throw you on the front of that one.
Yeah,
But, gentlemen and
I'll get
author
the artist to
guy.
touch one up and make it happen.
Fair enough.
Have a great
And
night, Sarah.
Have a good night, Sarah.
you as well.
All right. Night, Sarah. All right, wrongful rage.
$9.99 coming in from Wrongful Rage. In engineering, we are 29 of the top 30 schools. India has 1.
Yeah, that's true.
He's talking about university education instead of primary public education.
Yeah. I think we were really talking about primary. I think, and I don't remember what the actual stats were, but it was.
I pulled them up, Greg. You want me to read them?
Oh yeah, go ahead, man. If you've got
Yeah.
them.
So
Yes, you do.
it depends on which source you're looking at. But the Program for International Student Studies placed us at 38 out of 71 countries in mathematics and 24th in science. Other sources, World Top 20 ranked us at 31st, and something called Inquisitive Education ranked us 13th in the world. So,
and that's down from just what, like the mid 70s. I think we were still hanging in there a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much ever since they put fluoride in the tap water.
We've been on a decline.
Yeah. Well,
They used to put a lot of fluoride in the tap water at the group home that I was in. And like the way Sarah just left the panel like that really reminds me of how the staff used to emotionally abandon us in the group home, which I was in because I was in a group home.
Did any of your fellow group homians like do unfortunate things to themselves?
It was very traumatic in the group home, which I was in because I was in a group home.
Well, when were you at a group home? Because I was in one too.
Oh, I spent my childhood in a group home because, that's what you do sometimes, spend your childhood in a group home.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I only spent 6 months in one when I was a kid.
I really can't wait till the Furby and you collide again, Wally. It's going to be great.
It depends. Like I said, if like Furby's actually going into like one of my friends doing like a nerdy stream and being cordial, then we're just shooting the shit. But if I get pulled into like debate mode, like, okay, that's different. Like, we ain't friends till the bell rings again. Sorry. I mean, we're not even friends, but like,
I think we have to address the important question that has been asked by Alucard Oak. Yes, Grid. But how does 2 + 2 make you feel?
It makes me feel like mathematics is racist.
I was going to say that very same thing. Damned racist mathematics.
Math is sexist too, because I was always told when I was in school, girls are better at math.
That's true. I was told that too. Even though not one single female from my entire college class became an engineer. Not one. Of course, I was in a psychology department, so that might have had something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, and we let them into the medical industry and let them be doctors, and now you see the prices for medical care. It's ridiculous. They blow stuff up so much.
Oh, you're gonna be sleeping alone tonight, Anson.
I mean, look at the higher insurance. I
you,
mean, Anson, look at the higher insurance premiums we all pay because we let them drive.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, do you want to hear? And I'm gonna kind of make this I'm gonna do this, and then we'll do outros and everything. But so, you know, we're doing some different stuff, my wife and I, and so she's leaving. She's leaving the company she worked for. Would you believe that it is cheaper to have the exact same insurance under Cobra as it is through her employer when she was employed? Would you believe that? Is that not the dumbest shit you've ever heard in your life?
I think that's the first time I've ever heard of that, Greg. Usually Cobra's more expensive.
That's what I said the same thing.
Yeah, it's not common.
I was like, right? So what does that tell you? That maybe there was some, somebody's being a little inefficient there, or, kiting cash off to one side or the other.
I forget what my Cobra would have cost the one time I was offered it when I left a job, but I remember it being something obscene compared to what I was paying weekly.
I had the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It was like they wanted like I was paying, I think, like maybe 70 something a week or something there, and they wanted like $1,500 a month.
Yeah, that's the way I remember it, but I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the time that we all both long for, desire, and at the same time hate to see. I got to go to bed. Who was on? Arthur Daya, you were up first, so I will let you take the first outro.
I would like to thank Anson for coming up and behaving himself like a good pet cat. He is single-handedly saving me from being a future cat lady. It's been a pleasure to be up on the panel. If we didn't get into any arguments.
That was unfortunate.
Next time, bring Andrew up or something, and
yeah.
Me.
He triggers you hardcore. Yeah, I'll do my best. Thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you,
Mr. Anson Knowles. Take it away, sir.
Well, I have really nothing of value to add because my sugar mama hasn't given me my allowance yet. So I'll have to wait until the doctor gets home so she can, make it rain on me. And anyway, thanks for having me up, Grid. It's been a hell of a night. I've been having fun, and some of the topics of conversation were enlightening. And yeah, man, it's awesome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you being up on the show tonight. Wally?
Grid, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me up as always, for the invite. And I'm just going to put this back up here for the benefit of anyone who may still be on the fence about the Department of Education. And just let me say, if you can read this, think about it. Think about it. You can read it. You can think about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great night. We did have a little bit of trouble with the TTS tonight. I will get that resolved.
Arthur Dyer was working fine.
Yeah, Arthur Dyer worked great. Great save, to be honest. It's been the interesting thing is, as much as we tried to talk shit, we ended up actually having great conversations, and some very interesting and cool stuff was said. I'm going to send you guys over to the great state of Flow, and hopefully, he will. He'll be cool. He'll be cool. In the meantime, I need you guys to be cool. Wear glasses if you need them.